And hello, football fans, and welcome to the Apple Bowl in Kelowna. Trevor Miller here with you, joined alongside Jason Casey. It is Okanagan Sun football right here on BCFCTV.ca, and it's time for another matchup between the Okanagan Sun and the Vancouver Island Raiders here tonight. And Jason, the Sun come into this one 5-1 record going into Week 7 here, and a good week upcoming for this team. And should be a very interesting night tonight after a big blowout win, an 87-0 victory over the Kamloops Broncos last week. Everything was going for this team a week ago.
Everything was clicking, yeah. They looked fantastic, strong, smooth, and put together on their game plan, offense, defense, and special teams, as per usual. There have been no real major hiccups for the Sun. Of course, that game in Langley, throwing 5 picks, that's an anomaly. When you look at, though, their overall rush and receiving yardage on their offense, they look fantastic. When you take a look at the defense, what they're putting up based on points against and how the opposition offense is moving the ball against them, they look fantastic as well. And then, of course, the Okanagan Sun are killer on the return game as well, whether it's punt return or kick return. When you got Small and O'Shea and Sibley back there, they're just a package that it's tough to figure out where to kick the ball to try and not allow the Sun to put points up by returning.
Yeah, and the Sun just getting out on the field right now. They have had some terrific games so far this season. The VI Raiders come into this game after a big weekend last weekend, a 35-25 win over the West Shore Wolves, who have had, I think it's fair to say, a little bit of a disappointing season so far this year, but a big win for that Raiders team. Those games between the island teams are always hotly contested. This is a team coming in with a lot of confidence to Kelowna this weekend.
Exactly. You want to win that, that cross-island rivalry for sure between the Raiders and Rebels. You want to make sure that you come out on top. And the Raiders are proving to be, could they be that possible second, third place playoff team that causes maybe an upset, maybe here against the Sun in the last matchup and against the top 2 teams. They're not going to play Langley again, but who knows? Maybe they want to come in on the road and they put together a complete package on offense, defense, and special teams. I'm really interested to see what they do on defense, the Raiders, because if you focus on the run and try and stop the run against the Sun, well, then they're going to pick you apart pass-wise. If you do vice versa and try and slam down their pass game, well, then they're just going to give you a healthy dose of Miller and company right down your throat. So I would imagine they probably will predominantly concentrate on the run and force them to pass and then put up almost like a man with 2-zone coverage. So you've got some deep help to shut down the deep pass, but we'll see shortly.
Let's take a timeout and go down to field level for our national anthem. And the national anthem's in the books as we get ready to go here from the Apple Bowl. Trevor Miller, Jason Casey here with you as the Okanagan Sun get ready for action here tonight. And Jason, we were talking about it before getting on the air here. There are a couple of milestones in play for today's game and a couple of things for fans at home to watch out for.
Yeah, so for lack of a better word, the easiest one that we might see surpassed this evening is Miller. The rush game for the Okanagan Sun, Malcolm Miller will likely surpass 1,000 yards tonight. He only needs 21 yards to do it. So
it's going to be some kind of a storyline if he can't get 21
rushing
yards.
I would tip my hat to the VI Raiders game plan if they slam down shut the run game of Miller. It's one thing to shut down the overall run game of a team, but when you zone in on one player of Miller's caliber and how prolific he's been so far this season, it would be tough that we're not going to see in 4 quarters of play Miller hit 21 yards. So we should see a 1,000-yard rusher tonight for the Okanagan Sun.
that is going on as well. And the one that's might be a little bit more tough to achieve would be Mike O'Shea's record to try and hit the century mark.
Yeah, so for all-purpose yards, we don't have his rushing stats, so he may have a few yards rushing, but for his receiving, kick return, and punt return, he's sitting at about 866 yards or so right now. So for him to put up 134 yards total is also not a stretch. Well, again, we'll have to see what the VI does against their return team of the Okanagan Sun and the passing prowess of the Okanagan Sun. I would be surprised if he doesn't get touches on all three. Kick return means that likely the VI Raiders are putting up points, so that'll be remain to be seen. But punt return for O'Shea, and of course catching balls on the offensive receiving side should be a normal night for O'Shea.
The Sun team had a shutout last week. Their defense has really come through the last little bit. You can say what you want about the offensive numbers. Obviously, they've been impressive. This is a team that's got more than double the amount of points than any other team in the BCFC right now. But the defense is something that's really come through and shone through over the last little bit. Garrett Cape had a great weekend last weekend. He had 2 interceptions, part of a team total of 5 against Kamloops. And you look at some guys like Peyton Ryder on the defensive side who have had tremendous years, as well as Romario Reed. The defense has been as big of a part to this team as the offense has this year.
Absolutely. They've been kind of like the silent assassins the past few weeks. They're second only to the Langley Rams in points given up. That said, they're playing as a collective unit. There's the 12 men that are on that field, you can see are always gelling. Every play that's called, whether it's the D-line, the linebackers, the defensive secondary, whether it's, the front 7 shutting down the run game or blitzing and putting pressure on the opposing quarterback, or their pass coverage, like you said, Cape having a couple of picks, a lot of knockdowns, a lot of great pass defense opportunities for the corners and halfbacks right in the hip pockets of the receivers. So the collective unit of the defense have been phenomenal, and that's exactly how you want to see them progress deep into the season, into the playoffs, and going deep into a possible championship run. You need your defense to just do what they do best, and that's 12 men swarming to the ball and destroying the opposition's offense.
This should be a fun matchup between these two teams. The Sun have won the previous matchup between these two sides that was in Nanaimo. That was by a 39-17 score. So the Sun looking to try and keep their record against the VI Raiders perfect, and it looks like the Sun will be receiving the kickoff here, the opening kickoff of this game. The Sun playing the second of what is 3 straight home games. Glad to be back in Kelowna now, obviously with the COVID restrictions somewhat alleviated, so the Sun able to play some home games here and have the opportunity to see their faithful here so far. We had a packed house last weekend, 2,300 people in here to watch the home opener.
Yeah, it was a great weekend last week. Obviously, the game got out of hand quite quickly, but it's always tough. But, of course, for the Sun fans, that's awesome to see. And for this opening kickoff return, we've got Sibley and O'Shea back there, so we'll see if VI is going to put it into the equally capable hands of Sibley and not allow O'Shea to bite them in the backside to start the game.
We have seen Matthew Sibley go off before. He had a rushing touchdown in week number 2 of the season. As getting ready to kick the ball off is Paul Romanoff.
Did we miss Sibley
We did
live?
miss it,
That's
yes.
right.
And we'll be haunted by that the entire season. We were in a commercial break when that kickoff happened, and that was a lot of fun. Romanoff to kick off, and we're underway here from the Apple Bowl. Is a long kick that Sibley is back to receive. He gets his hands on it and has the ball at his own goal line. Rushes out looking to go upfield and is swarmed and tackled at the 10. So a good start for the Raiders on the opening kickoff as they are right in on Sibley, and the ball will go over to Dominic Britton and the offense, which had a prolific week last week. Britton throwing for 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and there's no head or tailwind right now, so I did think that the returners for the Okanagan Sun seemed a little shallow there, and for some reason they allowed it to be kicked over their head, and you can't maintain your blocks for that long on a kick return when you're fumbling the ball.
First down and 10, and a fake handoff there to Miller as Britton rolls to his right and caught around the sideline, and a good gain here as that is going to go for first down. Matthew K. Mitchell on the grab. Grabbed it at about the 25, makes his way out to the 36, and a strong opening possession here for the Sun, kicking off with that big gain for Matthew K. Mitchell.
Yeah, nice initial play action pass there and roll out for Britton coming off. Deep cushion by the VI Raiders defenders, and it just allowed Key Mitchell to come back in a nice comeback with lots of room to get more yards after catch.
First down and 10, and the ball is off to Miller, who rushes his way up the middle and gets some hard-earned yards there of about 4 or 5, and it will be a second down upcoming here for the Sun, who are in their brown uniforms with orange and white trim tonight, and the Raiders in white with red and black trim.
Yeah, and we see the Sun there go back to one of their staples on their offensive run game is when they have Zakala, who's one of their field slot backs, come in and block like a fullback, and Miller just falls in behind. And very often we see that 5, 6, 7 yards of carry in that play.
First or second down upcoming here for the Sun, and about 6 yards, and a handoff to the left for Mike O'Shea, trying to make his way around the end, but that's a good tackle on the far side of the field. I believe making that tackle was Nathan Winnig, and he was able to kind of grab the shoestrings of O'Shea and bring him down, and will result in a third down on the Sun punt unit out on the field.
Yeah, beauty open field tackle. 9 times out of 10, O'Shea's going to make that first man in the open field miss. So beautiful open field tackle, because that was certainly going for a lot more yardage than what was needed for the first down. So good job on VI Raiders to force a punt here on the opening drive.
Isaac Wegner is back to kick this one away here for the Sun, the Okanagan punter. Third down and about 5 as Wegner will put the ball in the air. Good boot here as this ball will drop at about the 37 and land there to the 30 as trying to make his way around on the outside. That's a good special teams tackle as I believe grabbing that one and knocking his man down there.
That was Zakala on the coverage and the tackle.
A terrific play by Zakala as he's able to knock his man down, able to get a piece of Will Adams, the defensive back, who is back to take that one. So we've seen 2 good special teams plays so far, and now the VI Raiders will head out for their first offensive sequence of the game.
Yeah, not a bad punt at all. He put them in an opportunity to return it either short or wide side of the field, but Adams just didn't have the speed that Zakala did, and great open field tackle by a receiver on a punt cover team. That was a great tackle by Zakala.
So a first down at the 18 for the quarterback Jake LeBurge and company as he will hand off to his right and trying to go straight up the gut, and being swarmed rather quickly there was the play of Jason Henderson, who was tackled down to the ice or tackled down to the field, and will be second down upcoming here for the Raiders on not much of a gain in about 3.
Yeah, exactly. The defense was keying on Henderson really well. He's their workhorse on the rush game, and he also has some good set of hands as well coming out of the backfield. So we'll see if LeBurge is going to try and pick the Okanagan Sun apart with his arm and his feet. He's a very respectful two-way quarterback in that regards, and we'll see if they establish Henderson on the rush.
So LeBurge on second down and about 7 here. He's pressured in the backfield, able to get away from one tackle but not another, and he's sacked down as getting a good piece of him is James Stockwood, and it's third down.
Yeah, I think the Sun brought some heat there with Romario Reed coming off the outside, the strong side edge there, and LeBurge did a good job sidestepping and stepping up into the pocket to get away from that initial coverage. But if you don't throw the ball away, and if you don't have a clear spot to sprint out of that pocket, you know the second, third, fourth man of the Okanagan front 7 is going to get you, and you don't want it to be Stockwood because he can cause some damage.
Again, we've said it time and time again on these broadcasts, that's a big man coming at you. I would not want to face him.
And he's fast.
He certainly is. Ethan Morin to punt this ball away as it lands right in front of O'Shea. He'll gather this up at about the 53, making his way to his left. There's a flag down for no yards as O'Shea tackled right about at the 53-yard line, and it will be the Sun who will get going here. And, that's a smart play by O'Shea to wait for that ball to come to a rest and to have an opportunity to just look upfield. I think a lot of times you see guys pick that ball up on the run. It just causes more problems than it does any solutions. That was a veteran play to just wait for that ball to stop and grab it to run upfield.
Absolutely. Let the ball calm down. It's not going to take a scary bounce on you. Maybe go off your leg and bounce back into the coverage team. But exactly, let it sit up in front of you. See what's happening up with your pass block and the coverage team. And like we just saw here, get an extra 5 yards because you have someone in that 5-yard halo.
The no yards will put the ball at the 47, and it's the best field position for the Sun on their second drive of this game as Dominic Britton in the shotgun with Malcolm Miller behind him on first down. He will fake the handoff to his left. Britton going deep. He's got O'Shea alone in the backfield, in the secondary, but just out of the reach of the diving O'Shea as he beat the coverage of Blake Johnson. In the secondary, he was wide open, but just a bit overthrown. It's second down.
Yeah, and amazingly, that's still a pass route that is open for the Okanagan Sun. That skinny post kind of flying seam has been open all season, and these defensive backs and defense coordinators, I'm surprised don't have 2 safeties or aren't bumping and running and shutting that down. He was wide open. I think Britton just put a little too much mustard on that ball.
Second down and 10 here for the Sun as Britton in the shotgun once more. Looking to his left, trying to get around some pressure. He lost the ball as Britton gets it back, but he'll be swarmed and tackled down for the loss. As in on the coverage there was Gage Geiger as he got right in on there, and Geiger able to make that stop along with many others in white. And it will be a third down upcoming here as Britton tried to avoid the pressure, but each team now with a sack.
Yeah, and great call by Coach Schultz, the defense coordinator for the VI Raiders. You come off a play where you almost give up a touchdown, a wide open deep ball. You come with a lot of heat, force Britton to have to make a decision quick or try and scramble, and he almost coughed up the ball. So great job by the VI Raiders, again forcing another punt.
It is once more Isaac Wegner out to boot the ball away again. Another strong kick as they'll put this down right at about the 11-yard line, and gathering that up once more and being swarmed down for the tackle. That was Will Adams that took the ball, and boy, the Sun right in on it. And I think maybe again that was the Calla that was in there on the rush.
I think it might have been McDonald and Banfield in there. I think it was 35 and 32, but they came in there hot. So once Adams fielded the ball, they beat their blocks and came in hot. When Adams when he saw he didn't have the corner coming out, he tried to cut back, and that's where McDonald and Banfield were waiting for him.
So the ball on the 17, very similar field position to where the Raiders had their last go, and it'll be a first down as LaBerge is back, scrambling to his right, looking downfield, trying to find his man down the sidelines. Well covered there, though, as that was Cole Streger on the coverage on the right side, able to defend his man there. I believe that was Paul Romanoff, who was on the right side there that could not get to that ball, and it will be second down. A bit underthrown from LaBerge. This is a battle of guys in the air. Britton, the number one passer in the BCFC right now with just under 1,500 yards. LaBerge after him at just over 1,200.
Exactly, and they're quite similar as well. Britton has 12 touchdowns thrown, and LaBerge has 11. Not a bad throw. It was a tough throw because it was to the wide side, but he did give an opportunity for the receiver to come back. It was just good coverage.
Second down as LaBerge will fake the handoff to Henderson, go downfield once more to the left, and that is incomplete. In coverage there for the Sun was Jonah Williams, or sorry, that would be Peyton Ryder, who was in the coverage on the left side of the field on Marcel Grant, who was the intended target. And I don't know, are we having this one come back? Was there a flag on the field there, Jason, or will it be third down?
I didn't see in the backfield. I was watching that pass. It was a pretty good throw.
There was a lot of whistles.
Yeah.
Which indicated to me that there was a penalty flag, but it doesn't look like...
So they are saying offside Raiders. They'll decline that, of course. But, again, not a bad throw. I think LaBerge is just trying to get a feel for the coverage. If it was thrown a little heavier to the wide side, the receiver could have just ran himself right to the sidelines, caught it, and gone out of bounds. He almost caught the defender's helmet when he was trying to go up for the ball. It was a little underthrown, but beautiful coverage because the defender was right in his hip pocket between him and the ball.
Once again, a boot away there coming from Morin, and he'll throw this out of bounds near the Raiders' sideline. This ball came out at the 40, so that is where Dominic Britton and the Sun will start from on their third drive of the game. Not much going on here so far, 9:08 to go in the first quarter. Unusual for the Sun because they lead the BCFC in points scored in the first quarter.
Yeah, the VI Raiders, watch Coach Schultz doing the DC with the Raiders. He's got a good game plan coming right now. They're just not getting any help from their offense at the moment, and they're starting to lose the field position battle. So it's just a matter of time, I think, before the Suns start putting some points up.
They actually marked this at about the 39, so it will be a first down, moving to his left, and not getting much on that carry was Miller, so it will be second down upcoming here, and about 3 yards. You know, I hope we didn't jinx them by saying that 21 was going to be easy to get.
No, that was good good pressure by Robbins, the defensive lineman, as well as the linebacker, Tyler Ruck. Good pressure. They're likely going to be keying on Miller, so it's just a matter of time. It might be a little he won't be getting his almost 9 yards a carry average for the season, but you know they're going to Miller's going to get his yards, and the defensive front seven for the Raiders are going to try and minimize that.
Second down, and the ball's off to Miller again, rushing to the right. He's got a first down and more as he makes his way into the secondary and down at about the 22. So a first down run there for Malcolm Miller. And just when we're talking about him, his ears must have been burning. You can't keep him contained for that long.
Well, and he can run north-south between the tackles, as we've seen, like when he comes behind Zakala, when Zakala comes in from a slot back position and like a fullback. He can run as a search or an RPO and then bounce it inside or outside, so he's a great cutback. And then he's got speed when he goes outside the tackles, how we just saw. So really, when you're slamming in between the tackles, the Okanagan Center are going to go, fine, we'll just put Miller wide.
First down once more, and once again up the gut, making that run right up the middle is Miller once more, and he is stuffed up there. Of course, I wish that we had the actual track of when he was able to hit that 1,000-yard mark. I think he's bound to be pretty close right now.
I think he's pushing it almost already, so yeah.
Then there we go. So he has just surpassed the 1,000-yard mark, Malcolm Miller. So congratulations to him, and a terrific season so far for Miller. One of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic offensive players in the BC. It is so consistent.
Yeah.
Rushing for over 100 yards mostly every game. It's second down upcoming here. Britton rushed back. They'll toss on the run. Finds Miller, is able to grab it and run his way to the end zone for a touchdown. Ouch. That was an impressive play by Malcolm Miller. Able to bobble that ball a bit, but he regained it enough to just go straight ahead into the end zone. And the 17-yard touchdown grab for Miller has the Sun ahead 6-0.
Yeah, I don't have a monitor here for the replay, but it looked like they brought heat, the VI Raiders, and all 4 D linemen were, allowed. And that's what you do on a screen. The O-line, they show hands, they pass block for that 1.5 seconds, then they let the defensive pass rush go towards the quarterback thinking they're going to put pressure. But when you teach your D linemen and your blitzing linebackers, when it's that easy, something's up. Someone's got to put the brakes on, look behind them, and look for that running back setting up those screens, because the O-linemen are now going to the linebackers, the halfbacks, and the safety. So the O-line of the Okanagan Sun made that look way too easy. The VI Raiders are going to have to take a look at that and make sure that doesn't happen again. But fantastic timing on the play call by Coach Miller, the offensive coordinator for the Okanagan Sun, because that was executed exactly how you want a running back screen to be executed.
Liam Atwood had the extra point. That was good. So the Sun with a 7-0 lead with 7:04 to go in this first quarter. And they strike first on the Malcolm Miller receiving touchdown. I believe that's the 10th all-purpose touchdown for Miller so far this season. So he has been outstanding so far. Obviously a big cog in the offensive scheme of the Okanagan Sun, as it will be Isaac Wegner to kick this ball away from his 45.
Yeah, Miller's got 10 touchdowns now, and so does O'Shea. O'Shea has 10 total touchdowns. So that's great between 2 players.
13th passing touchdown for Dominic Britton of the season, as this ball booted away, gathered up by Marin Bradbrook back at his own goal line, and makes his way up to the 24. The ball came loose. We'll see what the officials say on it, and it is the Sun who came away with it.
Yep. I was wondering, because they weren't making that initial, it did look like the Sun recovered it, but the referees weren't making that quick initial call, so I weren't sure if they were going to discuss it. Maybe he was down by contact, but here's another opportunity for the Sun to get some major momentum and put a dagger in the Raiders in this first quarter.
I'm not sure who came up with that ball. Everything happened so quickly in the scrum for the ball.
Yeah, I didn't see who came up with that.
But a big special teams play for the Sun, and I think that's one aspect of their game that's kind of been a bit underrated this season. The special teams of this team has made so many strong plays, and they do a gain on the takeaway. So it's Britton who will give off now to Miller, looking to the left. The new Sentry man trying to make his way back upfield, but he's tackled at the line of scrimmage as Ethan Morin, who also acts as punting duty for this team, came down and made the tackle, and it will be second down and about maybe 11 now, as they gave a loss of 1. Well, we don't want to have to say that Miller's got 1,000 yards a gain.
And then take it back, yeah. Yeah, no, good job by the VI Raiders. That was just kind of like a stretch inside surge play by the Sun, where they just, the O-linemen are just going to wash down the line of scrimmage and let Miller make his cut based on how the defensive front goes against that, and great tackle by the Raiders.
Second down, Britton looking to the right, finds his man in stride there as he's able to make that play to Nathan Tongai, and Tongai will get out. Not enough for the first down, about a 5-yard gain, so it will be a third down upcoming here for the Sun. And Liam Atwood and the kick team will come out. Obviously not a touchdown, not as much of a dagger as you would like, but they can put 3 points through to grab 10 extra to get a 10-0 lead. I don't think anybody will be complaining about that.
No, and another great defensive tackle by Ethan Moran, again, number 42. So great coverage for him and great open field tackle. He did get some yards after catch, just not enough for the first down. So opportunity for, I guess, to stop the Okanagan Sun powerhouse and only put up 3 points. That would still be a victory for the VI Raiders.
It's about a 28-yard kick for Atwood that is up and good. So he strikes, and one of the highest scoring players in the BCFC. I always love that stat about kickers, that they're always the highest scoring players on teams. And he's able to put that one through for another 3, and the Sun take a 10-0 lead with 5:42 to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, Atwood's been money. I think he's still pushing around that like 70% range for his field goals. He's got a strong leg as well, so he can kick, put your points up from distance, and he's pretty much automatic on the converts as well. So it's good to have that opportunity. And as you were mentioning how, the special teams for the Okanagan Sun going under the radar a little bit, it's really good to have all 3 aspects of your game clicking towards the end of the season and going into playoffs. That's how you're able to have a balanced attack to make a push for a championship.
The Raiders just elect to take this on their 35, so it will be LaBerge who will start. That's probably a smart decision given
Absolutely.
where they've gotten the ball the last 2 times. So LaBerge on first down, looking to his left, will fire a short pass, a bit of a rocket that went right through Marion Bradbrook and also went through Paul Romanoff. So it will be a second down upcoming here, and a bit of a confusing play there for Burge. I think he was trying to look for something downfield, didn't see anything, and just tried a quick check down option.
Yeah, I think he was looking at Romanoff, and that's why he put so much heat into it. Romanoff was the most outside receiver, but then Bradbrook was in front of it, and he tried to go for it, but there was just way too much heat on that pass by LaBerge. He put a lot of pepper on that.
Second down upcoming here, and 10 for LaBerge as he will go back, looking to pass to his right, fires up the middle, and that's caught for a first down. Making that grab up the right side is Dylan Pye, who was able to gather that one in, and that will be about a 17-yard gain there on that catch for Pye, and it will be a first down upcoming. Looked like there might have been a little slip up in the secondary there to allow Pye to get that open field.
Yeah, I think it was a bit soft coverage there on that second and long, and then also the defensive halfback lost his footing, so I couldn't see if they were setting up in man and then switching to zone. I don't know if they're trying to bump and run and then play zone behind it, but we'll see how they progress.
And another first down here for the Raiders up the middle. That is LaBerge finding Pye again. Another first down up to the 40. One thing I wanted to ask you about, I saw that slip up in the coverage in the secondary. I was watching warm up a little bit. There were some guys losing their footing. With this being one of the only all grass fields, you see a lot of turf fields in the BCFC. That could play a factor in this game.
Absolutely, and it has been wet today and cool today as well, so for sure, if the guys aren't used to be on the natural turf where you can lose your footing, that may come into play as the game progresses.
LaBerge throws away to the right side, and we will get a second down, but we'll take a look at what the laundry is on the field. There's 2 flags on the field, one on the far side and one just beyond the line of scrimmage. And I believe there will be a hold coming up here.
Should be a holding on one. And then I didn't see downfield if they're going to have maybe a defensive hold as well.
So we'll sort out what the penalties are here. So an offside against Pye.
Ooh, big one.
And an unnecessary roughness face masking penalty against Tyrese Rockwell. So the ball will go downfield, and it will be a first down here for the Raiders as they'll move the sticks. And that a costly penalty for the Sun. We have talked about that numerous times this year. One of the things to try and shore up for this team were the penalties. Last week was a little bit better in that regard. Still trying to find that here. Now the ball at the 30 for the Raiders, who are down by 10, but they're surging upfield, looking to try and make this a one-score game once more. So another first down opportunity. LaBerge looking back. That one knocked down by Stockwood at the line of scrimmage, and it will be second down.
Yeah, the Sun aren't doing themselves any favor when you, again, give up cheap yards like that with a face mask. But the VI Raiders, LaBerge is finding his guys. They're on that right side of the field. The receivers are finding those kind of like shallow, immediate post or kind of like mid-range ends. And they were going to that side again, and that's what you teach your D linemen. If you can't get pressure to the quarterback, try and get into those passing lanes and get your hands up, and that's exactly what Stock would do. He wasn't getting pressure, but he knocked down that ball so it wouldn't be a completed pass.
Second down as LaBerge fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, stops up there, comes back to the left once more, looking for an avenue to pass. He'll just get tackled down, and the ball is loose. Ryder knocked it away, and sliding to gather that up at the 30-yard line was the play of Tyler Going. And it's another forced takeaway for the Sun, and it will be the ball going back the other way, I believe, but there is a flag down on the far side of the field.
Yeah, good job by Peyton Ryder to stick with LaBerge and make the tackle. LaBerge is obviously trying to do too much. He's got to tuck that ball away when he knows he's getting tackled. But good swarming defense as well. Great open field tackle, causes the fumble, and then your teammate is there to mop up that forced fumble. But it does look like it's staying.
So holding against the defense, and yes, once again it is Rockwell. So that saves the Raiders, and that will be a first down. So they'll get a fresh set of downs, moving to the 20-yard line. And boy, oh boy, that's just shooting yourself in the foot if you're the Sun. You had a great opportunity, took that ball away, and just not able to get it back. So ball to the 20, and not twice to have this drive saved by penalties, but aided by penalties. That was definitely a drive saver on that penalty against Rockwell, and it will be a first down here for the VI Raiders.
And I think I agree with what Coach Borum is asking for explanation by the head referee there. I don't know how you call a defensive lineman for holding when, you know, he's trying to get off a block and put pressure on a scrambling quarterback. So tough call.
First down now as LaBerge looking deep to the end zone, and no way that he could find his man there. Good coverage played downfield, as I believe making the play there for the Sun. Looked like it was Jonah Williams in coverage on the right side, and had his man there in Romanoff covered off well. So it will be a second down upcoming here for the Raiders.
Yeah, good pass coverage, man coverage. You're in the right side hip. LaBerge threw it were the only spot where it was either going to be incomplete or a touchdown. So nice spot for LaBerge, but it was just really good coverage and no opportunity for the VI Raider receiver.
Second down as it's LaBerge once more back. Again, gunning all the way down the field, looking for the back of the end zone. Incomplete. A flag in the backfield. Likely will be remaining with the Raiders, I believe. It looks like it will be a hold coming against the VI Raiders. So it will be I believe, a third down coming. Looks like it is. As declining the penalty are the Sun. That and Tyler going and the Sun defense. So third down upcoming here for the Raiders.
Yeah, and I think the receiver, I think it was number 18, Bonnet Plume, that I think he lost the ball in the air. I don't think he saw it coming out with the lights, and maybe he's not quite used to the way the lights and the darkness are here at the Apple Bowl. But yeah, when he was running, he was still kind of looking back behind him as the ball was starting to drop, and he wasn't able to even make an attempted play on that. So you can't fault LaBerge for that, but it's tough. When the receiver doesn't see it coming off the quarterback's hand as he's making his route, he can sometimes lose it in the air.
That is an interesting aspect, because even looking where we are at midfield, it's a little bit dark when it gets down to the back of the end zone.
The far corners,
so
absolutely.
It's a difficult ball to try and track. So it will be the Raiders going for their first points of the game. Romanoff out to kick this. This is about a 27-yarder, which is up and no good. He missed it wide to the right, and gathering that out of the end zone, making his way right upfield, down the left side, and making his way all the way down. Donovan Small down the left side of the field. He's going to take this one all the way back to the house for a touchdown. What a run back by Donovan Small, but there are flags well inside of the Sun zone. It looks like they're, coming over is going. He looks like he is signaling that this will stand. There's a lot of confusion on the field right now, but a terrific run back by Donovan Small on the missed field goal, taking it all the way out of his end zone. And just what is the call? I saw Going saying it was going to stand. You saw plenty of VI Raiders players saying it wasn't.
Yeah, you're always going to try and sway every flag to your side of the ball, so we'll certainly see who's
standing, though,
full of it and who's right, but yeah. And again, that was just great. I mean, it's tough when you're close in, like maybe within your own 30 or in the opposition 30, 25-yard line, a kick from that distance, you can put your hogs out there, but a deep field goal attempt, you got to have some coverage guys out there as your wings and tight ends and holders for this exact reason. Oh.
So a good touchdown.
So number 68.
What was that penalty that they
68
called?
or 69. One of the old linemen had his bucket ripped off during the play, and then he attempted to continue playing and make the tackle, and that's illegal. You're not allowed to continue play once your bucket comes off. So it's the first time I've seen that penalty in a long time. So but kudos to the Okanagan Sun. And again, they're going to bite you, or they're going to, any opportunity you give them to put points on the ball with how disciplined they are in their blocking scheme on any return aspect for their special teams and the speed they have. Once these guys get to the outside, if you don't have at least 2 guys on contain, it's over. That's a touchdown.
So 17-0, the Sun with the lead as Atwood puts that one through with 2:20 to go in this first quarter. And just when you thought the Raiders were going to get themselves back in this game, making their way downfield, they were aided by a couple of penalties to keep that drive going. A missed field goal turns all the way back, and Donovan Small took it all the way back to the house, and good for 7 points. So a big lead now for the Sun in this first quarter. And you talk about a missed opportunity leading to a chance the other way. That is exactly what that was. And give credit to the Sun. This is something they've done a lot this year, and they took advantage and full advantage of that.
Exactly. And on both sides of the ball for the VI Raiders, they've got a good game plan set up. We've seen, that flashes of brilliance on the talent they have on the defense and offensive side of the ball. Although, that said, the Okanagan Sun are not a one-trick pony. They can put points up on the board, special teams, offense, and defense, and that's just it. There's only so long you can keep this dragon down.
So it is Wagner that will put that up once again, and to receive that is Bradbrook on the left side. Made one move to get around a tackle, and then was taken down in a strong special teams play by Kobe Gusty Armstrong, who was able to make that strong stop. As it was as well in on the tackle, Michael McDonald. Yeah. So it will be first down upcoming here for the Raiders at the 30-yard line. And again, some terrific special teams play by the Sun.
Yeah, good coverage team. They're such a well-coached team on special teams, of course, with former CFL players, their head coach Jimmy Borma on special teams. So you can see the discipline in their coverage. McDonald wasn't the initial attacker in that coverage, but he continued with his pursuit. And once the returner tried to cut back, he was there for a big hit.
So we'll be first down in the handoff going up the middle to Henderson, who's wrapped up just beyond the line of scrimmage. Second down upcoming here against the Raiders. So, you look ahead to this. Obviously, you don't want to look past this one, but the schedule coming up, the Sun only have 1 game left in the regular season. That's in 2 weeks' time here in the Apple Bowl on this field against the Langley Rams. That's setting up to be an ultimate showdown for first place, depending on what happens, obviously, through next week as well as this week. But should be an exciting one to end the regular season before the playoffs get going much later than what we're used to.
Exactly. It'll be a big tilt next week.
Second down upcoming here for the Raiders as LaBerge moving to his right, looking downfield, trying to orchestrate a play and overthrew his man just beyond the 45-yard line. Marcel Grant just couldn't reel that one in, and it's third down as the punt team for the Raiders comes on with 1:15 to go in this opening quarter.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Raiders. LaBerge was directing traffic as he's scrambling. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to see much time. It's just a straight-up pocket passer tonight with the pressure that the front four are putting on him. With the Okanagan Sun. So as he's rolling out, he's directing traffic, and I think it was Marcel Grant. He was able to sit down and kind of come back to LaBerge in some zone coverage, and LaBerge just put a little too much on it and overthrew above Grant.
First, it will be a third down and a punt here coming up. Flag is on the field right off of the punt, and that will be knocked down by O'Shea. Hit him right in the face mask, and that is covered and recovered by the Raiders.
But there is a flag, so I don't know if they were lining up offside, either offense or defense. And
Cody Harper is the one that grabbed the ball. They are signaling that it is in favor of the Raiders, but we'll wait to see what this penalty is. It was right off of the snap on the near side of the field. The Sun have their offensive unit coming out.
I don't think Going looks too happy, so he may have heard what the referees are discussing. And in that same breath, last return we saw how disciplined O'Shea was, and that he was getting a little antsy because there wasn't good coverage. They weren't right in his face, so he tried to take it on a one hop, and it bounced off his face mask.
So it is offside on the defense. Penalty is declined, and that is a big opportunity for the Raiders to get the ball back once more after the muffed punt by O'Shea. So a first down right at midfield for Jake LaBerge and the offense.
Yeah, and we'll see if LaBerge and the offense and what Coach Coach Pippi has in store for this, to see if they can't catch maybe, the defensive front being a little flustered after that.
LeBurge goes right up the middle, finds Romanoff up the gut. That is a first down, and much more down to the 29-yard line. So a big strike from Jake LeBurge, finding Paul Romanoff in the middle of the field. And just like that, the Raiders deep in the Sun territory at the 29 with 40 seconds to go in this first quarter, and a quick offense coming from the Raiders.
Yeah, LeBurge catching him on a quick kind of a corner right there behind the short zone coverage of the linebackers and halfback. And I mentioned it last game as well, for both sides of the defense, or both teams on defense, when you're seeing a receiver cross your face, you can't let him go at full speed. You got to put a hand on his shoulder. You got to slow him down to stop plays like that.
Fake handoff to Anderson. LeBurge going down the field to the left side. That is caught, and a touchdown. Great grab on the left side by Marin Bradbrook, and the deep strike of 29 yards is good for 6 points, and the Raiders strike back, and it's a 17-6 game.
Two great calls by the VI Raiders. They went after the Sun right away. They had a turnover. Let's see if they're flustered or maybe a little frustrated on that. Oftentimes on punt return and punt coverage teams, those are defensive players. So you had defensive players that are on the punt return team for the Okanagan Sun. They cough up the ball. 2 quick hits. You got 7 points up on the board. Great play calling by the VI Raiders to attack the defensive coverage.
So once more, it is Romanoff who is out to kick this one away. Up and good. So it is a 17-7 game, and we do have a flag late here. Romanoff was contacted in the slightest. He wasn't very happy about it. I think there was a shove, and I think they're going to cut the Raiders here for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, this head referee doesn't put up with anything. He's been around the BCFC and amateur sports in BC for football for a long time. He's a great referee, and he does not take any BS, for lack of a better term, on regardless of what color jersey you're wearing. He nips any of the shenanigans in the butt really quick, and he's going to put a stop to that right off the bat.
Good thing he's not in the broadcast booth. Can you imagine how many flags we'd have up here?
Oh, jeez.
So unsportsmanlike conduct against Braden Charette, as he got in a little bit on that play, and there was a bit of a shove that was given, so that's going to push the Raiders back to their own 35 to boot this ball away.
That's tough too, because you're on the road, you're against a formidable opponent on the Okanagan Sun. They're clicking on all sides of the ball, and you start getting a little bit of momentum and some opportunities swinging your way, and you shoot yourself in the foot. We see with the Okanagan Sun sometimes when they give up 15 yards on a silly penalty, and now the VI Raiders just did the same thing, giving an already great return team an opportunity to set their offense up with a big return and great field position here after that penalty.
So to boot the ball away is Romanoff once again. A line drive kick, and a good one that O'Shea will take on the fly at the 35, making his way up the field, right up the gut, and he is spun down to the turf at the 45, and that will almost wind us down to the end of our first quarter. 11 seconds to go in this opening quarter of play as the Sun make their way back out on the field, looking to try and get some late offense here in this first quarter, if not carry over to the second quarter.
Yeah, good tackle by Mattis on the coverage for the VI Raiders. Once you get your mitts on O'Shea, you want to hold on and just let the posses come in and help. You don't want to be the first man in there and try and go for the kill shot and miss him. So great way to control O'Shea and then just let everybody swarm him.
First down upcoming here, and the handoff to Miller, who got in front of his blocker actually, and Tyler Peddle trying to make his way up the field, and Miller tackled just beyond the line of scrimmage. Second down upcoming for the Sun, and we will have the final play of the first quarter upcoming.
Yeah, and I think that would have been a big run. Peddle and Miller kind of got to that defensive player for the Raiders at the same time. Peddle wanted to go block him, and Miller wanted to bounce around him, and that's just where they bounced into each other and gave the Raiders an opportunity to swarm and make a tackle, where otherwise I think Miller would still be running.
So they are going to signal that this first quarter has come to an end. So 17-7 after one. and the Sun will once more collect it and will take over on offense at the 25.
Yeah, the snap was just skipped back. Of course, you want to see your quarterback handle all snaps, but you've got to get it within, it's got to be in the mid-thigh to kind of maybe upper chest, worst case scenario. Then the quarterback can handle that snap and still make his reads and his fakes and whatnot and see what's going on. So anytime he's got to put his hands down on the ground and take his eyes down, it rarely pops up to be a positive situation. And the defense for the Raiders have got to be getting quite frustrated with the offense because they're not helping themselves out.
First down upcoming here for Britton after his last 47-yard touchdown strike to Kyle Zakala. And a timeout for the Sun as they had a bit of trouble trying to get things organized on the offensive side of the ball. And it will be another first down opportunity here. As that's been unusual for them to have trouble figuring things out on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, and it was good. I thought it was really that the VI Raiders might take a call a timeout there because their coverage team as well were chatting about from their bench and looking at the coverage. It looked like they were going to show some pressure. Then they went back out into general coverage, but they weren't sure how they were going to cover the three receivers to the field side for the Okanagan Sun. So this is an equally probably beneficial timeout for the VI Raiders setting up their coverage against the Sun.
Ball at the 25-yard line here for the Okanagan Sun. An opportunity for the Sun to try and punch some more in here with a lead of 24-7 already, just over a minute into the second quarter, and a handoff to Malcolm Miller, who drives the right side, making his way to the boundary. And oh, what a play there by Miller as he just juked off a tackle to gain a few extra yards. That's a strong rush for Miller, going right up the field, getting all the way down inside of the 5. And that's a good 20-yard run from Miller that's got the Sun poised in strong position, and a first down and goal.
Yeah, and it's a play we've seen many times, not only tonight, but throughout the season for the Okanagan Sun. If the defense can't stop it, you're going to keep running it down their throat. They're in a 3-and-2 situation, three receivers to the field side. Zakala comes in from the number 2, like we see right now, as a fullback, and then they play either run or play action pass right behind him.
I don't go right up the gut here and make his way just in front of the goal line. We do have a flag down on the field.
And on that, I don't think it was supposed to be a run by Britton or even a pass. Miller went behind Britton, so it wasn't even a proper fake or handoff junction, so I don't know where the miscommunication was. So holding against the Sun, so either way, I think it was a busted play that wasn't going to work too much. But that said, he still got positive yards on a busted play, and we're not seeing white jerseys get into that backfield right now. We're not seeing a penetration by the front four of the VI Raiders D-line or any of the blitzing linebackers or halfbacks. So I don't know if they're a little tentative because they're so deep in their own red zone right now, but they've got to start putting pressure on Miller and Britton in that offensive backfield if they're going to start disrupting the game plan of the Okanagan Sun.
Which is what we saw in the first 2 drives of the game. They were able to get
They did
into
a great job
backfield
at absolutely.
So another offering here on first down, and once again it's Miller making his way up to about the original line of scrimmage, almost there, just a little bit short of that, and it will be second down upcoming. And that's something that I think the Sun have done a great job, and you need to credit them that they've capitalized on, is they've adapted to that game plan, and they've been able to execute against what the Raiders had going early on, because early on in this game, the Raiders made 2 great stops in the first 2 drives, and we thought, okay, here we go. Here's an opportunity for the defense to shine, but the Sun have picked them apart over the course of the last quarter and a bit.
And the Okanagan Sun, they have so many weapons. Britton can beat you with his arm and his legs. Miller can run anywhere on the football field. You've got 3, 4, 5 receivers on the field that can beat you vertically and put points on the board. It's tough.
Britton in the backfield, firing to his left. A jump ball that he can't find Zakala on, as breaking that up was Javon McNally Hardesty, who came over to deny that opportunity. And it will be a third down upcoming on the attempt there for the Sun. I like that play, though, trying to go once more to Zakala, looking for his second straight touchdown.
Yeah, and I don't know if the read maybe could have been a little quicker and delivered quicker, or he could have put it a bit more on a rope. It did have a little bit of air underneath there. He was trying, I think, to put Zakala all the way to the sidelines, which would have been an easier catch opportunity for him. But good defensive coverage by McNally Hardesty. Absolutely stayed in the hip pocket of Zakala and knocked the ball down.
And the 15-yard strike for Atwood is up and through. They'll push the Sun ahead by a score of 27-7 with 11:57 to go here in the second quarter, as the Raiders offense will try and find something here in the second quarter.
Yeah, not a bad outcome for the VI Raiders when you can hold the Okanagan Sun powerhouse to 3 points. That is a great outcome. That said, you now need your offense to have a long drive and put points up the board. If you go 3 for 3, that's great. But now that you've just given up 3, you need to put up another 7. We need to see the VI Raiders offense have a sustained drive, take away some of the clock, give their defense an opportunity to make adjustments and rest on the sidelines and put 7 points up on the board to help their cause tonight.
Raiders have elected to take the ball at the 35, so it's a play here for LeBurge, looking deep downfield, throwing to his right, has a man open, that one caught, and is a completion, and a good grab by Dylan Pye, who's had a knack for a big gain so far here tonight. He catches that down the near sideline, and a big play for the Raiders, maybe just what this offense needed as they try to hurry it up as well and get the ball at the 37.
Yeah, good job by LeBurge reading the coverage and telling his receiver to go down the sidelines. And I think Wegner was just watching it in the air too much. I think he thought the receiver was more closer to the sidelines than he actually was.
Another first down opportunity here as rolling to the right. We got a flag on the field, and that one dropped near the sideline, incomplete. I think this one's coming back for a hold here against the Raiders.
Should
and
be
it
a
will
hold.
be second down. And, you know, one thing that I wanted to ask you, Jason, is one thing that we see from Jake LeBurge that's unusual that we don't really see out of a whole lot of quarterbacks, at least what we haven't seen in this league so far. He really likes to direct with his hands. He points downfield. He tries to point his receivers in the right direction. He almost is a bit of an orchestrator for this offense.
More often than not, it's because when, you know, the play that's called in the huddle is not what ends up being executed against what the defense is giving them. So that said, it could have
So
been
it's
a
almost
drop.
like a live audible.
Absolutely. So that said, it could have been a drop back pass or maybe just a simple rollout, sprint out to the kind of just to the outside edge of the tackle box, and then see where his crossing routes are coming. But when he does have to go wider out into a rollout, he now has to tell his receivers either come back to me and give me an outlet or turn around and go deep and I'll just throw you open.
So it will be first down as the toss to the right side of the field. Diving and making the catch over there was Marin Bradbrook, and we've got another flag down on the field. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that with rolling out and pointing out his options. See that from Russell Wilson a lot in the NFL for Seattle as well, as he's a guy obviously that rolls out a ton and points at his options, trying to find the best available option.
Well, the Seahawks O-line isn't that great this year.
No, it
so
is
that's
not. I don't think there's much rolling with the Seahawks that's very good this year. In fact, they just put Wilson on the injury reserve.
I think
believe.
Geno Smith will be having
Geno
the offense
will be
again
the key
tomorrow.
tomorrow night against the Steelers, Sunday Night Football.
And this last throw by LeBurge was great. That's a tough throw to the wide side of the field on a receiver who's doing an out, so he's running away from you, and LeBurge had pressure in his face. So he had to deliver it accurately, he had to deliver it a little early, and that was a great pass and catch by the VI Raiders on that. Unfortunately, it's another penalty against them.
It is. That'll push them back, so they will have a 1st and 14 here. Ball at the 42-yard line, as it is LeBurge trying to find something with the offense here as he's back to pass, rolling to his right once more. Will throw the ball downfield. That one just through the hands of Donovan Small. A late flag is down as that one incomplete on the intended target, looking for Alexander Bonneplum, and it will be another flag on the field, the third straight play that we see some orange laundry down on the field, and we'll see how that sorts out.
And Rockwell for the Sun was in that area, and he's already had 2 defensive penalties called against him. On that previous play too, though, the Sun brought pressure against LeBurge on the offense, but they're going inside too much. They're not keeping contained, and LeBurge can throw on the run.
Unsportsmanlike conduct being
Against the
called
Raiders.
against Regan Calvin, number 66. So it is once again the ball being pushed back all the way back now at the 52, and it's 2nd and 26 upcoming here against the Raiders, who have taken themselves out of what's been some pretty good field position and almost made that big play by Pye go awry right now.
Exactly.
So we'll be 2nd down. We'll see what LeBurge has for the offense. He's going to be looking downfield. A short little strike to the right side, finds his man there, and that's hauled in by Romanoff for a short gain. 3rd down, likely outside of field goal range now are the Raiders, so Looks like they're going to have to try and punt this one away.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to get a quick catch and run there to see maybe if they could make a missed tackle and get into field goal range. But what I was saying on that previous play, with the pressure that the Sun were bringing, they were allowing LeBurge to get outside the tackle box. When you're bringing a halfback or blitzing linebacker, you've got to have somebody on that outside contain. Otherwise, when a quarterback feels that pressure and he sees that pocket collapse, he's just going to bounce outside and have a choice. I'm going to throw a receiver open on busted coverage, or I'm going to run for a first down. So the Sun have to watch their contain on LeBurge.
And it's moving to the right and sending that one away as O'Shea will make that catch on the run, trying to make his way up the left side. He's tackled down, and there will be another late flag coming here, as that was Moran that got out to the right side, making that kick. And once again, it's O'Shea that grabs it and is tackled down. But we'll see what the late penalty flag is for, with 10:09 to go in this second quarter. And it's a 27-7 lead for the Okanagan Sun.
Yeah, not a bad rugby kick on the run there by Moran. He felt the pressure coming up. I don't know if they designed, if they knew that they were going to bring pressure up the middle, or just to try to kick it to the sidelines to keep O'Shea pinned as tight as he could to the narrow side, but he did roll out right away and kick on the run. So it was a really good kick on the run. And now with the penalty, the Sun are pinned even deeper. So we'll see if the VI Raider defense can capitalize on this.
So the Sun will start deep in their own territory at their own 16-yard line. Actually, they're going to push them. They're going to push them back to the 16. I think the Sun wanted to try and take it at about the.
Now they're at the 11.
Now they're at the 11.
11,
so
yeah.
It's even 5 yards further back, as Britain and the offense will try to go to work here. Again, as you mentioned, a big opportunity here for the VI Raiders to try and stop the Sun here deep in their own territory, and that's a good play to start things off, as Miller tried to rush to the left. Making the tackle there is Sean Murray, and it will be second down.
Yeah, and obviously I can't hear what the VI front seven is barking out once the play starts going, but on that, we still saw 3 receivers to the field side, but only 1 receiver to the boundary side, and Zakala was already lined up behind the field side, so the strong side guard and tackle. So he's already lined up like a wing fullback, and the front seven for the VI Raiders got to start barking out, run, check, run. Stop that run, and then force them to start doing play action pass.
Second down here for the Sun, and about 10, or just beyond that, about 7 yards, and a check down on the right side, and gathering that, making his way up is Mike O'Shea. Will find his way beyond the first down strike, gets to the 30, and it's a fresh set of downs for the Sun.
Yeah, good patience by Britton to take his time making his reads, saw O'Shea wide open, and then Tongai came back from his coverage and made an initial block to help spring O'Shea to secure enough yardage for the first down.
So it will be another first down upcoming here for the Sun at the 30. Time winding down, 8:50, and the clock running to go here in this opening half. Britton in the shotgun once more. Will give the ball off to Miller, right up the gut. He's got a first down, and he's got more. Gets around a tackle, making his way down the right side of the field. Malcolm Miller all the way to the house, a touchdown.
And exactly what we've been seeing. You see Zakala coming in motion. I think, of course, I don't have a replay, but I'm pretty sure they also pulled an offensive lineman. So a play like that, now Miller has 2 lead blockers coming up the weak side of the offensive front / defensive front. And again, if you're not getting mitts on Miller in that first 2 to 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, odds are he's knocking off 20-plus yards. And now we just saw, what was that, probably 55, 60-yard run, and untouched. He really was untouched coming through that play.
Another big rush for Malcolm Miller, another touchdown run, as that one puts that up and through. And with 8:29 to go here in the second quarter, it's the Sun 34 and the Raiders 7. And, you know, this is what we've seen all season long from the Sun team. They've been an offensive juggernaut here in the BCFC this year. You don't have to give them much of an opening. That's a second down play and a second down run where they just try to go right up the middle and they find a way to put it into the back of the end zone.
Exactly. It's almost like the Okanagan Sun know, okay, we're moving the chains. It's just a matter of, do we gain 1 or 2 yards more than what we need, or do we knock off a disgustingly awesome play and put 7 points on the board? And their their blocking is just so dominating right now. The first quarter we saw the VI Raiders, it looked like they had a feel for what the Okanagan Sun like to do in a run in the run scheme. They were making a couple plays. They had some pursuits from the backside against Miller, some tackles from behind, and now it just seems with the 5-0 lineman and either Zakala or a cracking halfback, they just look so smooth and poised in their blocking scheme that Miller can pretty much go wherever he wants on this field.
I believe that was an 80-yard run
Wow,
for Miller
even more
from
than I
his
thought.
own 30, able to punch it into the end zone, and that kick up and gathered on a hop. Trying to make his way out is Bradbrook, who will get tackled down and swarmed just inside of the 30s. So the Raiders come back out on offense, looking to try and get something going here in a 34-7 game. These games are important to the Raiders. They are important to the Sun as well. Obviously trying to find top spot in the BCFC. They're in a battle with Langley for that. But these games for the Raiders are important as well to see who they're going to play. I don't know if they're going to want to come back here in a couple of weeks when it comes to the playoffs to play the Sun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the VI Raiders got to get something going here on offense. Their defense have not been terrible, even though it's 34 points. They have seen short fields. They have seen some big plays broken down, whether that's coming to be fatigue or just mental hiccups on them. But, yeah, they've got to get something going on the offensive side of the ball for sure.
LeBurge fakes the handoff, looking to his left. He's got pressure into the backfield, and he is taken down. A sack there for the Sun. I believe that was Romario Reed who got in the backfield and gets the sack, and it will be second down for the Raiders. He has applied so much pressure for the Sun throughout the year. He's really good at picking his spots, finding his way into the backfield.
Yeah, good delayed pressure by Reed. LeBurge had protection for that first 2.5 seconds. He was going through his reads, but the coverage downfield was top notch. It was a coverage sack. He had nowhere to go. And after that kind of 3.5 seconds, when he decided, I got to tuck this ball and try and make something happen, that's when Reed was coming off that strong side and was right in his face, and LeBurge had nowhere to go except to just protect that football.
Now, there was a penalty.
Face mask.
So they are going to call Reed for a face mask on the tackle. Now will push the ball 15 yards upfield. So it is the Raiders once again. That's the third time we've seen that in this game where the Raiders benefit off of the Sun 15-yard penalties. So LeBurge will start from just beyond the 45 and into the backfield. And once again, almost a tackle that was made, and we got a flag down. This could be a similar face masking penalty coming into the backfield. I believe it was Donovan Small who was trying to find his way back there, and looked like he grabbed the hold of the face mask of the Raider in the backfield. I believe it was Marcel Grant that he got a piece of, and we'll wait to see what the penalty is here, but there's a flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, it might even been Reed again, too, because he got in there so quick, and he let go, and that allowed the defender to keep going because he knew his hand was on the face mask. I got to get rid of it. Maybe they don't call it. Maybe it's only a 5-yard penalty, but, of course, big back-to-back penalties like that. The Raiders, it's not a bad thing when your drive is helped by unfortunate penalties by the defense. Obviously, there were 2 quick face mask penalties. Neither one of them were intentional. Obviously, Reed on the first one was going to get a sack, and I think his hands were just in the wrong spot as he was bringing LeBurge down. But that said, now the Raiders just got free 30 yards. They've got to capitalize on this drive.
So once again, the ball at the Sun 51-yard line, 7:10 to go in this first half. I believe it's a timeout.
Yeah, the Sun called a timeout.
So their second that they have called so far, as they try to get things sorted out on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the Sun just need to calm down and poise on the defensive side. It's not like they're being manhandled or overpowered right now on this drive. It's not like the VI Raiders are banging off 7 yards of play right now. These were 30 yards that the Sun defense just gave to them on 2 plays. So they know they can stand with the VI Raiders offense and knock them back and cause them to have second and longs and make them punt on a 2-and-out, or even cough the ball up on some fumbles. So the Okanagan Sun defense need to remember that. Their game plan's working. They just got to sit back and do what they do best. Now the VI Raiders got to take advantage and say, okay, what was working for us before when we put up that touchdown? 2 quick plays. We know that those skinny posts and deep ins for what was open? Do we do that and have a quick sprint out by LaBerge and allow him to throw on the run? And if it's not there, maybe he runs for 5, 6, 7 yards. So we'll see what the offensive scheme might be for the Raiders to try and close out midway through this second quarter.
So it's a first down upcoming here at the 51 for the Raiders as LaBerge back to pass, looking to the right, heaving downfield, a jump ball, and goes right through the outstretched hands of Isaac Wegner on the right side. Wegner going up for it. He was in a battle there with Dylan Pye, and it will be second down. I guess any time that we look downfield for a play, it should be Dylan Pye who's on that. He's been the deep threat for the Raiders so far here tonight, and he is on that attempt as well, but Wegner had good coverage to force a second down.
He did have good coverage, and LaBerge threw it in a good spot. He threw it to the outside shoulder between the numbers and the sideline, so he knew that Wegner would have to make a phenomenal play if he was picked at. It was a jump ball, and I think Wegner was just a little bit taller than Pye.
Second down upcoming here as LaBerge will rush in the backfield and fire up the field on the left side. That is tipped in.
That was a beauty over the shoulder.
It's Donovan Small who picks it off after LaBerge threw it up, and Small knocked it down and then was able to get it back and keep his foot in bounds. And it is an interception for Donovan Small in the defense.
I was just going to say how easy LaBerge flicked that. He's got such a strong arm. It almost looked like Aaron Rodgers when you see Rodgers on his back foot just nonchalant flick it. He threw that ball, you know, yes, it was picked, but it was actually quite accurate towards the receiver. The Sun defender was smaller. Cape was it Small that came away with it? Small just closed the gap so quick. I think LaBerge just put too much air under it.
So Brendan Miller at the 35 and some rough rushing yards going up the field to about the 41, so about a 6-yard gain, and it will be second down upcoming here for the Sun. And well, that was a heck of a play by Small, who's had a great night so far. He did have a penalty of 15 yards against him, but he also has a return for a touchdown off a missed field goal, and now a heck of an interception as well. I think that'll waive off the penalty.
Yeah, we're starting to see the wealth of talent the Okanagan Sun roster has on offense, defense, and special teams.
Second down upcoming here for the Sun. Once again, it's Miller. Once again, it's up the right side and getting close to the first down strike. I think he might have enough to get his way there.
Yeah, I thought he rolled over the defender to get the first, but yeah, his knee must have been down. I thought he was rolling over the defender.
I guess when you're up 34-7, you're not really going to get all the spots.
No, but you do want it to be as accurate as possible. So if his knee was down, then you know that you want to see those chains move. You don't want to have to bring your jumbo package in or punt the ball.
I'm sure, as everybody's realized, we're always about accuracy on this broadcast. So third down upcoming with about 5.5 minutes to go here in this first half. The Sun with a 34-7 lead over the VI Raiders so far. And they're going to go for it here on third down. Britton right under center, just going to make his way right up the middle. We do have a flag, though. I think there might have been some early movement.
I don't think the Okanagan Sun were set.
I don't think so either. It looked like there was a lot of movement right away, right off the hop.
Yeah, I mean, just Armstrong was still coming out for the Okanagan Sun to get set up, so. But yeah, so that's procedure for sure, yeah. So I know it's a quick snap by the center, but if you know that the game plan is to have a quick snap to do a quarterback sneak to get that first down, your receivers or tight ends, whoever has to be your last man on the line of scrimmage, they got to haul butt to get out there. You got to rush to get out there. Tell the referee, hey, I'm on the line, and then your center can snap that ball quick. And now they're going to punt the ball. Now you've got a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6.
Really not much of an excuse for that. Really,
no,
just
not at all.
Set and
That's
just
being lazy.
Get that play going.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to get out there quick. Yep.
So the Sun are going to have to kick this ball away. Not many things that they have not done in this game, but just a couple of things like that. And those are things that, again, you know, we've talked about it before. When you get to these kind of games where the score may be out of hand, they're up by 27 right now, just keeping those good habits in play. Booted away, a high kick by Wegner. Will land at just about the 39, and well, not much that they could do there on that. A couple of men coming in. I think it was McDonald who was in on the tackle there for the Sun. Once again on the defensive special teams, and grabbing that ball and just going down to the field was Will Adams, and it will be a first down upcoming here for the VI Raiders with 4:52 to go in this first half, and the Sun ahead by 27.
Yeah, when you can get a booming kick like that, not only distance-wise but height-wise, we can get the hang time on that. When you're pushing 3-4 seconds of hang time, so we got a low Low block.
I didn't see a flag on the field.
No,
but
I didn't either.
Oh, there's one way back.
Yeah.
Just about at the
So one of the upbacks were probably
34-yard line.
cutting. They probably cut before the ball was snapped, or before the ball was kicked. But yeah, great kick and great coverage. It's easy to coverage when the ball's hanging so much. You can get downfield, break down, get into your lanes of containment, and then swarm to the carrier. But as you were mentioned earlier on that 3rd and short, exactly, plays like that matter. Against Langley, that's going to matter. Going into the playoffs, that's going to matter. Right now, it doesn't matter, but this is where the execution matters, right? So if you've got a 3rd and short and you need that first down and that happens, Coach Borum's going to blow a gasket.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that. And, it's something that we've talked about all season long is in these kind of games where the score does get out of hand, all about keeping those good habits, because there's something that it almost becomes muscle memory where you just make those plays and you're able to keep adapting there. They just brought pizza up in the booth right now.
I know. I just got a whiff for that, too. I'm salivating. It's like
why
Pavlov's dog.
Do that.
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock at night. It's right around dinner, and they brought
it's
pizza
Saturday.
up here.
But
Saturday
yeah, no,
night
exactly.
Pizza party, I guess, for us.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, you want that consistency because of the wealth of talent they have. You want those things to be automatic. You want to know it's 3rd and short. We're getting it. We're getting the first down, no problem. You want that mindset and execution.
LeBurge with a play-action fake and a quick strike to his man up the right side. That is Bonneplum, who was able to make his way just beyond the midfield strike. So it will be a 2nd down upcoming here for the Raiders. Nice quick little play there. I did like what the Raiders are doing when they get their offense going to go no huddle and go quickly. Get the quick offense going to try and catch some tired Sun defenders. And I think they have had success with that in this game.
They have, and they were banging out 5, 6, 7 yards of play when they're doing so. This is a great play-action pass and quick hitter by LeBurge. They got to keep that momentum going.
2nd down and right up the gut. That's a good play for a first down. Once again, making that catch in transition is Bonneplum right up the middle as he gets that pass coming from LeBurge, and it's a first down for the Raiders as they start to drive downfield to the 32. And we see that once again, some of that quick offense coming from the Raiders as they're right back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, similar seam skinny post that we saw when they put up the points in the first quarter.
First down in the handoff to Henderson. There hasn't been much on the ground today for the Raiders. He runs right into Stock, but he kept that pile going for quite some time. We have a late flag on the field as the ball just beyond the 25, and we'll wait to see what comes of this. This was from the umpire in the middle of the field. We'll see what he has to say about things.
Yeah, often they catch the second guy when you're getting into scrums, and there's always a history between the Raiders and the Sun. It's always chippy. There's a good rivalry between the two. But oftentimes the referees are going to see what a commotion is and they catch the second guy. I just didn't see, are they catching the Raiders or are they catching the Sun?
Well, I guess we'll find out now as the call comes from the field. So they're going to call the defense.
Ryder
and
got
it's
his
gonna
hands
be
up.
Peyton Ryder on the unnecessary roughness penalty. So that will push the ball down to inside of the 10-yard line. So it is coming in as 1st and goal now for the Raiders. A big opportunity here for the Raiders to make this a 20-point game once again.
And the Sun are adding all these 15-yard penalties are benefiting the offensive padding or the rush yards of the VI Raiders.
Fake pass, now passes along to the right side, and a touchdown on the play-action pass. It's Dylan Pye who's into the end zone, and it's 6 points for the Raiders, who have made it a 21-point game.
Yeah, I didn't look. I got to imagine, without seeing a replay, I think there was a little miscommunication on the coverage there for the Sun. There was 2 defenders there and 2 receivers by the VI Raiders, but the 2 defenders left Pye, dropped deep, and I don't know if they didn't realize if there was a cross and one had to jump that short route, but Pye just did a quick little slant, wide open for the easy touchdown.
Romanoff to kick the extra point. As that is blocked there, as it never really got any height on it. A bit of a bad snap to begin with, and not much going on there on that one for the Raiders. So it's a 21-point game and a 34-13 lead for the Sun. The special teams coming up with another strong play.
Yeah, in a game like this, you need every single point that the opportunity affords you. Great quick drive by the VI Raiders offense. They took the opportunities that were given to them by the mistakes and the mental mistakes and emotional mistakes that the Sun were making by those big penalties, and they were able to capitalize. We didn't see that in the entire first half, but they did on this drive, and now they have to keep that consistency on their side of the ball, keep their defense on the sidelines, let the defense make adjustments and rest, and then have their offense put up points. That said, there's still a comfortable lead by the Sun, and the Sun, aside from the 15-yard penalties on defense, still look phenomenal. So it is going to come up now to the VI defense to stop the Sun and not allow them to close out this half by putting points on the board.
That is the talking point that we have every week. It is the penalties, and it is trying to keep that undisciplined play down, especially when the score gets a bit out of hand. So we'll see what happens here in this one as this game moves along. But it will be the Raiders to kick off.
Yeah, and as of yet this season, we haven't seen penalties bite the Sun in the backside and cost them a game or points. But in close games, it could very well.
That game in Langley, a 7-0 game about 3 weeks ago, it was both teams who had issues with penalties. There was about 80 yards in penalties for both sides in that game, so didn't really have any effect for either side. That ball kicked out of bounds. That will push the ball to the 40, and will be the Sun offense who will come back out on the field. And once again, just trying to get the mojo going here for the Sun. A big bye week next week before facing off against Langley. That's a crucial week off next week for the Sun team.
Exactly. They're going to be able to devour game film on Langley. Obviously, we want to count our chickens before the hatch. There's still, 2 quarters and 3 minutes left in this game. Anything can happen. But yeah, absolutely, a bye week coming off this week. They're going to rest all their players. They're going to be able to get healed. They're going to watch as much film as they can and get ready for that big tilt on the 30th.
I'm really wondering what you're going to be dressed up as.
Well, I never even thought of that.
Halloween the next day after that as Britton is back. Now will roll to his right, looking to make his way through a couple of would-be tacklers, but he is going to get taken down. And it looks like it is the play of the Raiders that will get back into the backfield. And making that play is Nicholas Robinson, who came through the line, able to get the sack on Britton, and a healthy loss there, about almost 10 yards, about a 9-yard loss on the sack. It will be second down.
Yeah, good coverage, but not bad coverage by the VI Raiders downfield. Would force Britton to scramble a bit and try and make some reads, and then the pressure just got to him and allowed to get that sack. But on that set for Halloween, how about you come as Pat Summerall and I come as John Madden?
I think we could do that. I think that's something that could happen. We'll have to change your voice a little bit for that, but I think
I need a telestrator to draw on everybody.
Second down upcoming here as Britton will fire to his right, unable to connect with Miller. Be a third down upcoming here as the Sun will get ready to boot the ball away with 2:31 to go in this first half, and the Sun leading by a 34-13 score.
This is a perfect scenario for the VI Raiders. This is not what the Sun wanted to do at all to close out the half. You lose yardage on the first play. You got a 3rd and 17, 3rd and 19, and you're punting from that. We need to see them have a booming kick, try and pin the Raiders, hopefully with no return, within their own 45-yard line. But if the Raiders get any kind of return out of this, they're going to be sniffing at midfield with still, the better part of 2.5 minutes and at least one timeout, I think, to put up 3, if not 7 points.
I believe the Raiders actually have both their timeouts.
No,
I think the Sun called both of theirs. So they do have timeouts available. And, if they can get points on the board before this half is over, especially with the way the half ends, could create a little doubt in the Sun's mind going into the second half. As this one bobbled by Wegner, and he is going to be taken down at the 15-yard line, right into the backfield with Sean Adams to apply the pressure. Wegner couldn't handle the snap. One of the rare special teams plays that we have seen struggle for the Sun this year. And you talk about good field position for the Raiders. This is outstanding field position to start inside the red zone.
Now I don't feel so bad for the Sun for the Raiders fans, because I jinxed the Raiders on that big pass, and the Sun put up points, and now I just jinxed the Sun about trying to pin the Raiders, and now Raiders have optimal field position. So
there certainly is.
So yeah, I've jinxed both colors of the jerseys this evening.
Yeah, people can't call us homers. We'll do it for both sides.
Exactly.
First down upcoming at the 20. Big opportunity here for the Raiders as the Play action fake, trying to find his man in the end zone. It was a jump ball touchdown.
Should be a touchdown, yeah.
LaBerge with the strike. I believe it was
Number 11.
I think it was
Grant.
Marcel Grant that came down with it. He was in a healthy battle with the defensive back, Donovan Small, to try and get that ball in the 2-11's battle. It's Marcel Grant that comes up with it. They don't even need 2:30 a time. They did it on the first strike, a 20-yard touchdown catch, and it's a 34-19 game.
And that's often what you see by offensive coordinators when you get either, a fumble recovery or an interception or a turnover and downs on the punt like this, deep inside your opposition's red zone, you go for the jugular right away, and that's exactly what the Raiders did. Beautiful jump ball pass by LaBerge. They battled, the 2-11s, as you said, and Grant came up with it.
They're going to go for two here. LaBerge will do another play action, looking to his right. A diving ball. Unable to come up with that on the right side was Bonaplum. So the game will remain 34-19, a 15-point game. But it's a two-possession game now. And interestingly enough, the Raiders have battled their way back-to-back touchdowns, with Pye getting the 9-yard grab and then a 20-yard touchdown strike for Marcel Grant.
Yeah, we'll see as the end of this second quarter, and then as we start into the third quarter, we'll see if the Okanagan Sun try and start putting pressure back on LaBerge, because when they're giving him time to sit back there, whether he's in the pocket or whether he's just doing like a simple sprint outside the tackle box, he's finding his receivers and he's hitting his open man. He just missed, Bonaplum on that 2-point conversion by maybe half a yard. So it is there, and we'll have to see if the Suns start coming with either a halfback or linebacker pressure to rush his decisions and maybe make him just start running as opposed to picking them apart, because the opportunities are there for the Raiders. And we'll just have to see, because in the majority of the first quarter and a half, he had a lot of the Okanagan Sun defensive linemen and linebackers in his grill, and it was disrupting his passing opportunities. And now in these two touchdown drives that we've seen, he's been able to make his reads and get his receivers open.
That's 3 touchdown passes for LaBerge in this football game, as he comes in and now has 14 on the year. And a bit of a squib kick here as it rolls, and pouncing on that inside of the 40, just making his way right on top of that would be the play of Aiden Hennessy, who was just able to pounce on it. He just wanted to get the ball into the Suns' possession, so they will take over just inside of the 40. What's the advantage of doing that kind of play with the Raiders trying to maybe look for a misplay?
Exactly, yeah. So just a squib kick like that, maybe on the front coverage or the up back, which Hennessy was, if one of them maybe tried to do too much and fumble it, it's a live ball regardless. There's no such thing as a 5-yard halo on the kickoff return. So you're hoping for a misstep, and then just not allowing, also the caveat, or the other side to that, is not allowing a big return by the Okanagan side.
So Britton with an opportunity to pass as he'll look downfield, find his man on a dive, making the catch and hauling that one in just inside of the 50 is Matthew Sibley, who's able to find the handle, and Sibley able to get the gain, and a strong one there for the Sun as they are inside of Raider territory at the 52.
Yeah, not bad coverage by the Raiders, but there was no pressure, and Britton was able to just make his reads, and then Sibley was able to break off his pattern and get behind the zone coverage, and Britton was able just to loft him open behind that short zone coverage.
So an opportunity for Britton with a fresh set of downs. He'll hand off to Malcolm Miller, working to the left, getting to the out-of-bounds mark, and he will. This one, I think, might just be a tad short, but Miller actually looks like he was able to find his way to the first down marker, and I think they are going to give a fresh set of downs, so a first down for Malcolm Miller and company, and just like that, the Suns offense rolling a game ball at the 40.
Yeah, and Miller's going to churn up a lot of real estate anytime he gets him behind. Ferguson was the pulling offensive lineman, and Zakala. When you got those two great blocking men in front of you, Miller's going to have all kinds of opportunities to get lots of yardage.
Second or first down upcoming here, and Miller once again looking to the left, trying to worm his way through. He does, getting through a couple of would-be tacklers and making his way to the 26. It's another first down for the Sun.
And Sean Murray, who had backside pursuit on that, thought he had Miller tackled at the line of scrimmage. Miller's feet, many people listening who are, the modern generation of the players here won't know who Roger Craig is, but his feet were just pumping like pistons like Roger Craig used to do. And Sean Murray just bounced off Miller's legs, and Miller was able to turn a loss, if not a zero gain, into a first down.
Once again, give the ball to Miller as he goes right up the left side and makes his way just beyond the line of scrimmage, and will be second down. I guess, if it works, keep going, and that's exactly what the Sun were doing on 2 handoffs to the left. Malcolm Miller gaining such big yards, and this offense just able to turn things up on a dime like that. If things aren't working, if the pass game's not working, turn to the rush. If the rush game's not working, you turn to the pass. We saw that early on. Miller was contained early in the game. They went to the air and were able to open up some opportunity on the ground for him. So a second down upcoming here, and about 8 here for the Sun. Britton in the pocket. He's got plenty of time to pass as he works his way to his right. He's got a man open on the right side of the field. It's Kyle Zakala who's got a first down grab and is taken down out of bounds at, I believe, just beyond the 5-yard line. We got a flag down. I think it could be because of a high tackle on Zakala, or the attempted high tackle on Zakala, but a good play there for Britton, who, again, took his time in the pocket, surveyed what was available to him, had an open man in Zakala on the right side of the field, was able to hit him for the pass, and we'll see what the flag is.
I think they're calling it against O'Shea as possibly either a hold or a block in the back, because the ref was telling O'Shea something. And O'Shea didn't look too happy, so O'Shea was coming back to try and spring Zakala, so I don't know maybe if he was holding or blocked in the back. I didn't hear what the call was, but it is against O'Shea.
So it's O'Shea that gets the penalty, and it is going to be second down upcoming here for the Sun once again. So they will have, or it will be a first down, my apologies. And the Sun will get the fresh set of downs just beyond.
Yeah, it was after yards were gained, so it's still first, but.
So to be at about the 24-yard line here, the Sun will go to work with 53 seconds left in the half. Miller will take the handoff, working to his right, getting back around the out-of-bounds mark and tackle just before the first down marker. And it will be a solid 8 or 9-yard run there for Miller. That will put the Sun in a good position here in second and short.
Yeah, and again, we're just seeing Miller dictate what he's going to bounce off on the blocking scheme. You got Zakala coming in the middle. You got the offensive guards and tackles pushing and washing the defensive tackles and defensive ends, and Miller is just hitting that line of scrimmage and then deciding to either bounce in or out and then get into that second level where the linebackers and halfbacks are, make that first man miss, and get that 8-9 yards of carry.
Second down and about 3 here as the handoff once again goes to Miller, right up the gut on the right side, and able to find his way beyond the first down yardage. So it will be a first and goal coming up here for the Sun as Miller made his way to about the 10-yard line.
And again, we've seen this formation by the Okanagan Sun before. It was trips to the field, so you had 3 receivers to the field, a single receiver to the boundary, so the weak side, and Zakala was already lined up as fullback, and then he just knifes through, and Miller follows him up the gut for an easy first down.
First and goal from the 10. The Sun looking to add points before the half ends. 21 seconds to go in the first half. It is Britton to the left side. Zakala making his way to the goal line, into the end zone. Touchdown, Sun.
I said it last week, I'll say it again. For a big man, he's such a smooth runner. His routes are nice and smooth and deliberate, and then once he gets that ball in the open field, he's a very quick, deceivingly quick receiver. And that's 2 big passes to Zakala where the man was wide open. He's that big. He's not hiding anywhere. I don't know how he's getting that wide open. So I don't know if because he lines up so often as a fullback, he's sneaking out and the coverage isn't picking him up, which would be a linebacker or a free safety. But the Raiders have to take a look at that. They can't allow Zakala to sit out there constantly wide open and get big yardage.
That coming with 13 seconds to go in the quarter, and in the first half. So 41-19, the score in favor of the Okanagan Sun here as this first half starts to come to a close. And yet again, just when the Raiders seemed like they were in a good position, the Sun bounced back and with a little bit of a counter punch, able to find the back of the end zone. So once again, it's 3 touchdown passes here for the quarterbacking efforts of Dominic Britton, as these 2 quarterbacks going back and forth to see who can throw more in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. LaBerge is, he's an equally qualified quarterback as Britton. But again, as I said before, we're seeing the wealth of talent that the Okanagan Sun has. And when they're not their own worst enemy, giving up big penalty yards, they are just so dominating. It's tough to try and build consistent momentum against them.
So Zucala will join the special teams now. As this ball to be booted away. 13 seconds to go in this first half, and a squib kick here for the Sun. That one bobbled and just taken down by Tyler Ruck just beyond the 35. So 11 seconds to go here in the half, and just a couple of quick plays to run the clock down, I imagine, here for the Raiders.
Yeah, the rest of this quarter is just really a formality at this point. So the Raiders are just want to protect that football, make sure nothing silly happens in this last few seconds, get to the locker room and take a look at what was working for them, how they can continue that, and then how they can alleviate what hasn't been working for them. And then same with the Sun. The Sun, everything really is working for them. They look very, very consistent and effective again this evening like they have most of the season, except for the mental mistakes, i.e. penalties that they're allowing to give lots of yards back to the Raiders.
So the Raiders will take this ball at their own 37-yard line. Taking a long time for things to get set up here.
Yeah, a bit of a discussion by the side judge and the head referee there, but maybe they just want to make sure because they're taking a knee, they don't want to have any shenanigans and after whistle stuff happening.
Don't want to have any funny business down there, as that will wind things down here and push us to close to half. We'll have one more play to close things out here, and it's the Okanagan Sun who are up big after the first half here in Kelowna. It's a 41-19 lead for the Sun as we've hit halftime here from the Apple Bowl. Great offensive performance by the Sun, obviously, in that first half. 3 touchdown passes for Dominic Britton, an 80-yard touchdown run for Malcolm Miller, a return for a touchdown by Donovan Small. Everything for the offense, defense, special teams working for the Sun in that first half.
Yeah, the Sun looked fantastic, and that was to be expected. It was to see what the VI Raiders could do and how long they can hang with them on both sides of the ball, notwithstanding how effective the return game is for the Okanagan Sun. But the VI Raiders, they had moments where they were thoroughly impressive with their game plan, the play calling, and the execution on defense and offense. It was just inconsistent. They took advantage of a turnover where they put up the first touchdown, and then the last touchdown where they had the turnover on downs and another penalty to put them deep in. So the Raiders are taking what they're given and trying the best they can to capitalize on the opportunities, but they also have to stop what the Okanagan Sun do so well, and that's move the football up and down the field.
Jamie Borum's pretty hot right now with the head official. He's had about a 30 or 45 second discussion.
The whole time I was flapping my gums, he's been chatting with the head ref.
Yeah, he has been really adamant with hand gestures and trying to, I believe, just try and get some consistency with the officiating, possibly. I'm not too sure what the argument could be about, but I'm sure just trying to sort some things out. I don't know if I've seen him this animated before.
No, and it does matter. I mean, fans who aren't overly familiar, or maybe the Raiders fans are thinking, what's he complaining about? What's he got to worry about? They've got a commanding lead on the game. Well, as we said, like on the third and short play for the Sun, that's going to matter for the Sun someday. If it's inconsistent officiating that Coach Borum is concerned about, or there's certain plays that he doesn't agree with how they're calling it, that's going to matter maybe in the second half, maybe as a battle for first against the Rams, maybe in a playoff game that they're hosting. So they just want to know, okay, are the referees calling XYZ a specific way? Are they maybe a little inconsistent? And he wants clarification so he can tell his players, hey, look, I know this is how we expect it to be called, but we got to watch it because of this, and we don't want to cost ourselves, 5 or 10 yards on just a simple offensive play, or 15 yards on a PI or hand checking or something like that. So it's valid for head coaches on either side of the half line to get clarification from referees to make sure it doesn't cost them as a game or a season progresses, regardless of what the current scoreboard says.
That current scoreboard reads 41-19 in favor of the Sun over the VI Raiders here tonight from the Apple Bowl. We're happy to have you here with us on this Saturday night. Trevor Miller, Jason Casey here with you on BCFCTV.ca. It's a big lead for the Sun. We'll see what happens in the second half of this football game. We're going to take a timeout, step aside here from our broadcast. When we come back, we will have the second half upcoming here from the Apple Bowl here in Kelowna. It's the Sun 41, the Raiders 19, back for the second half after this on BCFCTV.ca. And welcome back to the Apple Bowl here in Kelowna. Trevor Miller here with you alongside Jason Casey, getting ready for the second half of this BCFC football game between the Okanagan Sun and the Vancouver Island Raiders. 41-19, the Sun are on top of the Raiders heading into the third quarter. So far, obviously, the offenses for both sides had a good first half. Jason, we do have the stats in front of us now. And I think the one thing that stands out off that stat sheet, the quarterback number is very good for both sides.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously expected with Britton. He's 8 for 11 for 172 yards and the 3 touchdowns. But LaBerge holding his own, even though the game looked lopsided when you look at the scoreboard and the momentum and how long of the drives on both sides, but he was 10 of 16 for 166, 2 touchdowns and 1 INT. That's a good half. As you were saying off air, either one, you would be happy with either one of those performances, and I agree, but the glaring difference right now, and it shows on the sidelines, is 188 rush yards for the Sun, 12 for the Raiders. And with all those penalty yards that they were given as well, they've got to get something establishing, or just throw all your chips in LaBerge and just let him start slinging it.
So it will be Isaac Wegner to kick off here. The temperature has dropped considerably here in Kelowna. It's a chilly night here, and chilly mid-October night. This ball bounced all the way into the end zone. Back to gather that, and taking it out of his own end zone here is Baron Bradbrook, and I don't think he got beyond the goal line.
I don't think so, no.
So he is going to be hauled down.
Good coverage by the Sun. They didn't give up. You know, on that, maybe you think, oh, I will just anticipate that he's going to give up the Rouge. He's going to take a kneel, and they'll just take their field position. But the Okanagan Sun continued to haul butt downfield and have good coverage, and they swarmed on Bradbrook, or sorry, who was that? On Adams when he was trying to return the ball. Or was it Bradbrook?
It was Bradbrook who took the ball out, and it will be placed at the 35 now. And they will get the extra point and the ball to the 35. So now a 42-19 game. That was a kick for Wegner. That was a bit of a helicoptering one, but got a good bounce once it hit the ground.
Good bounce, and he got a lot of leg on it, yep.
So first down for LaBerge and the offense. Jake LaBerge with a pass to the right side, and gathering that up is Alexander Bonaplum, who was able to make the catch, tackled down for just around a 5-yard gain. It will be second down.
Yeah, and there was good coverage by Streger on that. Golden Streger was down there right in the hip pocket. Again, great accurate throw by LaBerge, throwing his receiver on the run with a defender right in his hip pocket, and knowing that also the corner was coming down in coverage as well. So good first down play there. And like I said, maybe we're going to see a healthy balance of LaBerge just throwing the ball, and maybe he runs for a few yards if need be, and then throw in a little bit of Henderson if need be. But maybe we'll start seeing Henderson leak out in some screens, or maybe he gets out into the flats as well. If the run game's not there, get everybody involved in the pass game.
Second down upcoming here for the Raiders. The handoff, the fake handoff going to Henderson. Ball downfield. That is intercepted. It's Garrett Cape on the pick. He had 2 last week. He's got 4 this year, making 5 as Cape is able to find the handle and get the interception, and the Sun will take the ball.
Yeah, and from your game film, you got to know as an offense and a quarterback when you're throwing your receivers on those deep posts that Cape is a ball hawk. Not only can he take your head off if you're going to try and catch the ball over the middle, but he's going to go for that INT every time, and he had no problem breaking in front of the receiver on that. LaBerge either has to check him off and throw to another receiver on those posts, or he's got to check down and throw elsewhere altogether.
So first down for Britton and the offense. Malcolm Miller working to the right, gets his way up for about a 7-yard gain. It will be second down upcoming here.
Yeah, another good first down run by the Okanagan Sun. Very consistent in their play calling and execution when we see this. You know, you get that 7-8 yards by Miller. It's almost automatic these days that he's going to get that. And again, he's just doing those inside search runs behind Zakala, behind the pulling guard and trapping guard and tackle.
Second down upcoming, right up the middle, and once again it's Miller trying to bust his way through the secondary. He's flipped over and taken down at the 35.
Yeah, Another great run. Again, they had Zakala lined up in the backfield. They had trips with one receiver to the boundary. They're running to the boundary side by bringing Zakala in as a fullback, and then they're pulling, I think on that play was Matthew Kling, the old lineman. So they're pulling the left side guard coming across, and then him and Zakala move up, and then they're either kicking out the defensive end or moving to the halfback and linebacker, and then the rest is all Miller.
So another first down here coming up at the 36. Britton in the pocket, fires up the middle. A big collision there, but making the catch and holding on is Matthew Sibley. He got rocked just inside of the 10-yard line, as that was Gavon McNally Hardesty who made the hit on him, but Sibley with a big catch over the middle and another first down for the Sun.
So two similar plays for the Raiders, which equated to a pick by Cape, and on this, which was a big first down conversion, is the difference in how it was delivered and the time it was delivered. Britton threw that ball early and on a rope, whereas LaBerge on his pick had a little bit of air on it and he threw it too late.
And on first down, a handoff to Miller, working wide to the left, trying to find an opening, and gets his way to about the 7-yard line, I'd say. It will be a second down upcoming, as it was Miller going wide to the left, trying to find his way to further yardage. So it will be a second down upcoming here with the ball at about the 6.
And he's so patient, Miller, looking for his seam. Not only is he taking his time to let the blocking develop in front and then see how the defenders are going to attack him, but he's not losing any speed while he's doing that, and he's still gaining yardage while he's waiting to make that decision. Really, really tough to defend against him.
And on second down, it's Miller once again, wide to the left, leaping his way and into the end zone. It is a touchdown for the Sun.
So after this drive now, Miller is well over 200 yards already at the start of the third quarter. 4 minutes into the third quarter, he's well over 200 yards rushing.
Second touchdown rush of the game for Malcolm Miller, who once again finds the end zone with a strike with the ball to the left side. And Miller once again, as you mentioned, over 200 yards rushing now in this football game. There is not many teams in this league that can stop number 3.
No, not at all. You can see not only because it's Malcolm Miller back there and he's so good, but he's running behind guys like Zakala and O'Shea stretching the coverage that doesn't allow them to play the run. You've got 5-0 linemen that can pull and block and screen out and just create all these seams where it's easy for Miller to find the amount of daylight he wants, hit it like a bat out of hell, and get big, big yardage. I think going into this game, he was averaging 8.7 yards a carry, and he's probably well beyond that again this evening.
So a 49-19 lead for the Sun as Atwood throws the extra point through and good. You know, it's been tough to find a week where a member of the Okanagan Sun has not been named the Offensive Player of the Week in the BCFC. This team has put up so many good offensive totals and is a juggernaut offensively. Not to mention with the defensive and special teams play they have that also adds into the scoring as well.
Yeah, I'll sound like a broken record. The depth and wealth of talent this Okanagan Sun roster has is disgustingly good. It really is.
So to kick off is Wegner once more, with his team up by 30, and a squib kick to the right side. Bounding on that is a Raider on the right. I'm not sure if he got it, though. The Sun are thinking that they have the ball. Yeah. Although I think that's just the automatic gesture to make, isn't it? You're going to try and catch the referees off.
No, sir, you're wrong. I got the ball. Even though the white jersey has it. No, it's my ball, sir.
46-yard line is where that one was recovered, and the Raiders will take the ball and have an opportunity to get back on offense now in a 49-19 game here. And again, you know, we mentioned what is at stake here for the Raiders. This is the team that's going to try and get into next week in a solid form and also try and find their way to better standing positioning, and probably knowing that they're either going to have to play Langley or this Okanagan Sun team in the playoffs coming up in 2 weeks' time. LaBerge hands that one off right up the middle, and it is the play of Henderson, Jason Henderson, who goes up the middle and will collect about 5 yards. That's one thing that you pointed to, Jason, during our half, and the fact that the numbers for LaBerge have been great. On the passing side of things, only 12 rushing yards after the first half for the Raiders.
Well, yeah, and the Okanagan Sun haven't needed to put all front 7 to stop the run. Their front 4, their defensive linemen would be able to do that job on their own with the odd blitzing halfback or linebacker. So they've been able to stop that run game in and of itself as a defensive line.
Deep ball downfield on the second down try, and it was Bonneplum who was trying to get away on the right side, getting into coverage and making the strong play there were the Sun, and that in the way of Jonah Williams, who's been good so far today. We've said his name a couple of times. He's been good in coverage for the Sun so far tonight.
Yeah, he's been really good in coverage. I'm not quite sure what the Raiders were thinking there. I know they want to get something going quick and maybe, catch the Okanagan Sun coverage maybe flat-footed, but they got to just try move the sticks. Control the clock, move the sticks, maybe throw up a field goal, maybe throw up 7 points, but to having 2 and out is not ideal.
Moran will take a run down the right side, making his way to the out-of-bounds strike, but cannot get up to the first down yardage. We do have late flags coming in, though, so we'll see what comes of this with Moran taking that punt and just trying to work his way around on the outside to the right and try to find a way to maybe catch the Sun napping a little bit to get his way upfield.
Yeah, he's a long 3 yards short of the first down, but we'll have to see if they're calling that play against the Okanagan Sun, but the Sun did bring their offense out there.
Maybe as a decoy. And we'll see what the penalty is. The sticks are being rushed way downfield. It looks like this is going to go against the Raiders.
That's the second 15-yard penalty against Charest.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's a block in the back and a first down for the Sun. Ball is on the 38-yard line here. So it is Britton once again with the offense as they'll go back after the play action there to Miller. Ranging to his right, firing over the middle. That one caught by Nathan Tonagoy, and he will find his way out. Tonagoy finding his way beyond the 20. That is a first down.
And there is a flag in the backfield. We'll see if it's holding.
A couple of them.
And it was, when you see a quarterback have that much time, often you're going to see a holding call against the O-line just because it's hard to keep those defensive linemen in check or a blitzing linebacker or whatnot. That said, great job by Britton. He went through all his progression and his reads, and then the receivers know. You can see a great receiving core as well coached when they can recognize is it man or a zone. If it's man, I got to keep running. I got to run away from my coverage. I got to get open for my quarterback. If it's zone, you park your butt in a zone and you sit there and be a target for your quarterback, and that's exactly what 2 slot backs did in between the linebackers in that short zone, and Britton was able to hit one of them for a good gain. Unfortunately, just there was a holding call.
So this will be first and 20 from the 48 now for the Sun as the handoff goes to Miller on the right side, trying to bounce his way wide, and he's swarmed by 4 white jerseys as Miller is hauled down. We've got some extracurriculars as well, and the Sun are going to be called for one here. It looked like it was Zakala who tripped up his man. Actually, O'Shea, I should say, who tripped his man up as Adams went down.
Yeah, the Raiders are just pouncing on a ball that they thought popped out. They want to try and make any opportunity they can. The ball carrier, Miller, was down by contact. That said, the Sun can't be in those kind of scrums. They got to get out of there, get into your offensive huddle, stay away from all that stuff, and not give up, again, yardage against your offense and allow the Raiders to win some field position back in this game. I mean, we saw 140 yards and penalties by the Sun in the first half, and I think they've already given up 30 to 40 yards in this, and not even the first half of the third quarter.
Now they're going to be marched back again as that is O'Shea called. So
there's not much in your playbook for second and 35.
Are you sure
40?
you don't practice these plays on a weekly basis?
Not much, no.
I don't know if these are ever practiced.
Second and 36.
Second and 36 for the Sun as Britton will just look downfield, heaving his way down to the right, and that one up and out of the reach as he was looking for Goose Armstrong on the right side. So it will be third down. And, interesting when you look at the schedule coming up here and you look at the Jux for positioning when it comes to the playoff standings, there's a big game next week for this Raiders team. They're on the road in Victoria against the West Shore Rebels next week after what they did to them last week with a 35-25 win. So that's a big game coming up next week for this Vancouver Island Raiders team. And obviously the sum of the weekend off, the Langley Rams take on the Kamloops Broncos next week. So it sets up for the all-important last week of the regular season. But yeah, some tough matchups coming up here over the next couple of weeks. So back to punt this one away is Wagner again. Tough with the snap, but he's able to boot this one down. That one caught on the fly and taken up tried to be taken up the middle and worked to the right by Will Adams. He is hauled down. There's a flag back towards midfield here. We've seen a lot of penalty flags so far in this game. And again, we're just a little bit of a ways into our third quarter here with 8:18 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Sun defenders are gesturing like it's going to be against the Raiders. But yeah, that was a low snap. It skipped to Wagner. Good job on him in corralling it and getting the kickoff for sure. But yeah, neither offensives right now, aside from obviously the quick points that the Sun did put up earlier, right now in these back-to-back drives, neither offenses are doing themselves any favors by the penalties they're taking during the offensive drive or on special teams, how they're setting their field position up.
So it will be the Raiders that will take over at the 22-yard line here. 49-19, the Sun with the lead, a 30-point advantage here in the third quarter. Hand off and right up the gut. Strong defensive play there. Getting into the backfield was Christian Horner, who made his way right up the gut and knocked his man down, as that was, I believe, Dylan Pye who took that handoff, and that's a big loss and a second down upcoming.
Yeah, we haven't heard Christian Horner's name called tonight, but that, yeah, easy for him. He was in the backfield so quick, split the offensive lineman and got in the backfield and made a tackle for a loss. And when you said Christian Horner, I just had a flash of F1. I'm a huge F1 fan, and Christian Horner is the principal director of Red Bull Racing. So that's what I think. When you say Christian Horner, I have a flash of F1 racing.
Sometimes I don't know what to say when you say things. Second down and 17 coming up here. The ball on the 15-yard line here for the Raiders. Back to pass is LaBerge, and he is hauled down. Another good defensive stand by the Sun. There were three members of the Sun front line that got in the backfield there. I believe James Stockwood was a part of
Horner
that.
Again as
Horner
well.
in there. Boy, we don't want to mention his name again. And
Heaton.
And some great work there by J.J. Heaton as well. So some terrific jobs defensively by the Sun on that 3-and-out. And now that's the Raiders that will kick from deep in their own zone.
Yeah, and LaBerge felt that pressure coming, but the defensive speed the Okanagan Sun has, they close so quick on LaBerge. He felt the pressure, but it didn't give him a chance to try and get outside the pocket. He was just wrapped up so quickly.
And they will concede the point here as they are into the end zone. So with 6:45 to go in this third quarter, it is a safety given up there and a 51-19 game in favor of the Sun. And for the Sun in this game, again, you know, you talked about the speed of their front seven. It's not just the fact that they're big, intimidating guys. It is that foot speed. And it's that quick strike off of the line, and you're just one step quicker than the offensive line, and you're one step quicker to getting into the backfield.
Yeah, they're so quick off the line. They're reading that ball snap so good. They're fast coming up. They have great moves either against the run or pass to get past that O-line. The guards and tackles are having a nightmare right now against the front four. And then couple that with either a linebacker or a halfback that is also quick to swarming to the ball carrier, whether it's Henderson running or LaBerge trying to scramble. And yeah, it's an uphill battle for the Raiders offense right now.
It definitely is, as the Raiders will see the Sun take over. Dominic Britton's still in the ball game, as well as Malcolm Miller here. It is first down, and it's Miller once again on the run, making his way right up the gut. Got around a tackle, got around another in midfield, down the right side, and will step out just beyond the 50-yard line.
Man, he is good. What a fantastic run. Again, coming in behind Zakala. Zakala is such a fantastic blocker. Not only does he have great hands, he's a great blocker coming out. They pull that guard again, coming around, and Miller just hides in behind them. He's a small-statured man, but he runs like a beast. We could see he wasn't shying away from contact there, spun off a couple of tacklers, and if you don't secure your tackle on Miller, he's going to keep churning those legs, and he's going to just keep churning up that real estate.
And it's another first down here for the Sun. Miller once again pushing his way up to the first down yardage. Another good run from Malcolm Miller. You've been around this league a lot longer than I have. Have you seen a player single-handedly dominate games like Malcolm Miller?
Oh, absolutely. I had to coach against one, Andrew Harris, who's in the CFL.
Oh, that's a pretty decent name.
He's a VI Raider alum, and
I didn't really set myself up well with that
question. No. I had nightmares scheming defense against Andrew Harris, and then you go back in the day. I mean, obviously, the Okanagan Sun had Jeremy Levy, they had Jeff Halverson. There's been great running players in the BCFC.
So it will be a second down and short. Britton looking to pass, fires over the middle, has a man open, and caught for the first down. As making that catch is Blaze Boscheman right over the middle to grab and haul that one in. So ball inside the 25, and another first down upcoming here for the Summit. There is a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, I was watching downfield, so I didn't see if they're going to be calling an offensive lineman on that or not. It looks like it definitely is coming back, but I didn't see the infraction. Another holding call.
Yeah, if we see that flag in the backfield, it's usually a pretty good guess.
Usually holding, yeah.
This one's going to push the Sun back to be about a 2nd and 11 now. With 5:25 and counting to go here in this third quarter. There's the Sun out ahead, 51-19. Britton in the shotgun with Miller behind him. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Hands the ball off once again to Miller. Right up the middle. He goes straight up the gut to the first down yardage and much more, finding his way beyond the 30. And boy, oh boy, you know, when you have a second down and 10 and you just hand the ball right up the middle, it just seems like any opportunity he's able to just burst his way through the offensive line and find a way to get into the backfield. I believe he might have broken a record there as well.
Yeah, I think he's already broken the single-season rushing record held by the Okanagan Sun. But yeah, it's now they're just overpowering the VI Raider front seven. It's the same play we've seen a dozen and a half times tonight, and he keeps churning out big yards. It's just the VI Raiders are being overpowered right now by the Okanagan Sun.
First down opportunity here at the 27. Britton rolling to his right, finds his man. That's Matthew K. Mitchell with the grab inside the 10. He got the opening catch of the football game, and he finds his way to get that grab as well. A big strike that has the Sun within the 10-yard line and a first and goal opportunity. The plethora of weapons that this team has. You have Zakala, you have O'Shea. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of other guys that can get the job done as well.
Yeah, good discipline by K. Mitchell. Just hang around the sidelines on that when Britton was scrambling. And what a nice, accurate touch. He didn't try and overthrow it, didn't try and put too much power onto it. He knew he had enough time. His receiver was open and put it right at the spot where he was just going to catch it at the sidelines and fall out of bounds.
First and goal from the 8. Britton back looking for an option, ranging to the right, finding a man, looked for his man in the end zone, and it was a contested ball. He was trying to find his man in the end zone in the way of O'Shea, and he was unable to do so, so it will be second down. Good coverage there.
Good coverage by Adams on the VI Raiders, and Britton, again, he was scrambling to his right-hand side. He had all kinds of time to look. I think he had someone deep over the middle, but it was tough to see in the kind of the shadows of the lighting in that deep end zone. He threw it to the inside of O'Shea, and if he threw it to the outside shoulder of O'Shea, that was a touchdown.
Second down and goal to go from the 8. 3:30 to go here in this third quarter as the Sun ahead, 51-19. Handoff going there. Miller working to the right, trying to juke his way around a couple of tackles, but they knock him down the line of scrimmage. Third down upcoming here as the Raiders right in on that, and they read that play well.
Yeah, and Westland was in there, defensive lineman for the Raiders, and he had an opportunity at a shoestring tackle against Miller. And those do exist. Defenders are able to do that. It's not a bad thing to try and just lunge at Miller as he's whizzing by you, but his feet are so quick and he's so sure-footed, the odds of you bringing him down are just not there. You're better off keeping your feet, trying to make him continue to run east-west and wait from the cavalry of your defense to try and swarm him.
Field goal attempt for Liam Atwood is up and good from 15 yards. And it's a 54-19 Okanagan Sun lead now as Atwood once again could with the field goal.
Yeah, good job by the Sun, moving the ball, putting the points on the board. Again, whether it's 3 or 7, to be this consistent and just continue to put up the points is exactly what you want to see your offense do. Their defense at this point is also completely controlling the tempo of this game. LeBurge is having his moments where he is getting some passes and whatnot, but it's not 4, 5, 6 passes in a row. It's not 80 yards of passing where he's going 6 for 8 on a drive and putting up points. They're stalling a little bit here when they do get some momentum at moving the ball. And the defense at this point, it looks like they're toying with them as opposed to bending as the Raiders move the ball.
So the Raiders elect to take this at the 15. That to the near side, and a good job of getting in on the tackle there are the Sun. Right in on the action is Mateo Marino, who was right in to make that tackle on Marin Bradbrook on the pass coming from LeBurge, and it will be second down.
Yeah, good pressure by Small as well. He saw that, got around his block, came on the outside contained pressure of the receiver, and forced him back into where Marino was coming in.
Second down upcoming. LeBurge trying to get away from the pressure. Reed had his man there. There's a flag down. I believe it's going to be a hold. That one went right in and out of the hands of Bonaplum, as I think that pass might have been intended for Marcel Grant. It went through his arms and right, but I think it just hit the chest of Bonaplum, who looked skyward. He wasn't very happy with that.
I don't think he was ready for it because, Grant did go up and try and secure the pass. And, I don't know if he overthrew Grant or he was trying to get it to Bonaplum, and Grant just kind of impeded on his vision on that, although it will be a holding against the Raiders.
So holding against the Raiders, that will be declined, and it is a third down. So the punt team on now, which will see Ethan Morin back out for Vancouver Island. So Morin back, O'Shea back to receive this one. Morin will fake a punt. Now we'll get it. That is blocked. Making his way in and getting a piece of that is Garrett Cape, who is a defensive wizard for this team and a special teams one as well, as he came flying through and got a piece of that punt.
Yeah, and again, they stayed home, made sure that, okay, is this going to be a fake? Or are these just trying to get a different angle? As we saw earlier, Morin ran, he did do a good quality rugby-style kick. Just tried that again. Cape was right in his grill and was able to get a piece of it. And now the Sun once again have a dominating start to their offensive drive.
So the ball on the 30, and it's a 1st and 10 here for the Sun. Britton in the backfield once again will hand off to Miller, cuts to the middle, making his way up the God and finds his way to the 15. About a 15-yard run there for Malcolm Miller. Well, those are almost a formality now, as it's another first down upcoming for the Sun inside of the red zone.
And it's frustrating and demoralizing. I've said this earlier in the season as well, when the Sun have such a dominating run performance. It's so tough mentally and physically to go up against such a great offensive running team. It gets right inside you how frustrating it is to try and stop them, and knowing you can't. You know the play's coming, and they just dominate you.
50 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and it is a 1st and 10 here for the Sun from the 15, lobbing that upfield. That is hauled in for a touchdown. Mike O'Shea comes down with it on the lobbing pass from Dominic Britton, and the Sun add to their lead.
Beauty pass by Britton. I think it was just inevitable by the time you were going to call that connection, Britton to O'Shea. But yeah, it's great to see. O'Shea just has such great concentration. Doesn't matter where that ball's getting thrown to him. You know, 99 times out of 100, he's going to be coming down with that ball.
Another fantastic catch by O'Shea. That was a teardrop pass by Britton, who was able to feather that one in there. So the extra point now, a bit of a interesting snap that O'Shea had to knock down, but he was able to do so, and it is Atwood who pumps it through. 61-19 the score now in favor of the Sun, who have really taken a commanding lead of this game.
Yeah, the domination right now is starting to kind of fall into place on all three aspects: the special teams, the offense, the defense. It's allowing the Sun to have a short field on offense. It's allowing the frustration to set in for LeBurge and his offense against the Sun defensive coverage, the defensive front seven on the stopping the run, the pressure they're putting on LeBurge, making him to have to try and throw on the run, getting those tackles for losses, getting those sacks. It's really falling into place. It's kind of like it's two opposite ends of the spectrum for obvious reasons. The Sun have everything clicking right now aside from their penalty yardage that they've given up, and the Raiders have had, I'll say, minor moments where they look great against the Sun, but it's too few and too inconsistent.
I believe that we'll probably see a quarterback change now. Alex Douglas is warming up on the sideline right now, so I imagine the Sun will bring in their second units once the next offensive possession ensues here for the Sun. Donovan Downing to kick this one away for the Sun as he will boot it down, gathered up at the 10-yard line there by the returner in Bradbrook. We got multiple penalty flags on the field, as is the case on most kick returns. 27 seconds to go here in this third quarter, and we'll sort out what the penalties could be.
Yeah, I got to say, by the looks of how the Raiders were reacting, they thought some penalty should have been called against the Sun. I didn't see where it would have happened. I think I had a gesture from the side judge that it might be holding against the Raiders.
Ball right now is at the 28-yard line. As we await the referee's call.
I don't know how you get an illegal block on the kick coverage team. I don't understand that. I don't know if maybe he went low on someone just to try and trip him up, but if I had a replay, it would have been nice to see that. But yeah, I'm not sure what that initial call on the Sun could have been. But regardless, it's still Raiders ball.
Yeah, and I don't think that ball moves at all either.
No, it should just be offsetting, yep.
So it will be a first down to start here for the Raiders at the 24-yard line. LeBurge back. He was getting pressured in the backfield as he fired that one off quickly to the right side, making his way up for the first down. On the catch there is Dylan Pye. So Pye must be up and over 100 yards so far through this game.
Yeah, and I tip my hat to LeBurge. Not only did he stand in that pocket and deliver the ball,
he
got
knew
up,
he was going to get hit.
Got in there on the blitz and just tattooed LeBurge as he threw the ball.
No worse feeling as a quarterback knowing you're going to get hit hard, and he fires that over to the right side. That is caught. That's Bonaplum that comes down with it. Another first down catch for the Raiders.
Yeah,
and that will take us to the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, and LeBurge is making quick reads. He's getting that snap. He's making his first or second read and delivering the ball. They're realizing now, I think, the Raiders, he's not going to sit back and have 3, 4, 5 seconds against this front from the Okanagan Sun. The coverage team is too talented on the Okanagan Sun, so they got to say, okay, here's 1 or 2 quick routes. You're going to make these reads and deliver the ball in the white jersey that you see is the most open and deliver it with authority, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. So we'll see if they can keep that going, or if the Sun are going to make adjustments and say, okay, yeah, enough's enough of that, and we're just going to slam that shut.
And, you know, that's when we saw the Raiders have success, is when they were doing those quick
hitters,
plays and those quick hitters. So we'll see what happens here as this game continues on. Fourth quarter underway, 61-19. The Sun with the lead as the Raiders trying to find their way here in the third quarter.
Fourth
quarter. The Sun with a commanding lead, but Jake LeBurge trying to find some offense. He's looking deep downfield and doesn't have anybody there as he overthrew his man in the receiver in Romanoff, and it will be second down.
Yeah, and I think LeBurge could have, maybe he's feeling a little antsy because he's taken 2 big licks on the previous passes. He could have held that for another half second and allowed Romanoff to run under that ball. He did have good cover or pass protection there. I don't think the Sun were bringing any pressure in that at all. They just sat back in coverage. But I think if LeBurge trusts when he sees all the linebackers and halfbacks bail into coverage, that he knows he's going to have enough time to thread the needle, he can take a little more time delivering that ball.
Back to pass is LeBurge as he looks now, will heave his way downfield. He's got a man down there, and it was covered well, but they're going to call pass interference. Bonaplum tried to find it, and I don't believe the defensive back ever looked back at the ball. Can you get a number there? I don't know.
I think it was 12.
Is.
I think that was
Williams. Jonah Williams, who was taking a knee down. He was a little bit shaken up after he got in coverage there and was hauled down.
Yeah, he might have got a little winded as the two of them came down, and that's tough on Williams. He's right in the hip pocket of the receiver. The ball was thrown right into him, like the LeBurge was trying to thread the needle to his receivers. The defender was right between the receiver and the ball coming down, which you want, but he's got to turn and make a play on the ball. Otherwise, every referee is going to call that PI every time.
So they will place this ball at the 40-yard line, and it will be a first down upcoming here for the Raiders. That's just a tough play to make on that one.
Yeah, he was in a tough position, yeah.
Hopefully he'll be all right, but I think, as you mentioned, he was just a little winded after making that play.
The way the two of them came down, yeah, I think he got a little winded.
That's a tough play to make at full speed, too.
Yeah.
When you go down to the field, there's a lot of body crunching going on there, no matter how many pads you have on. First down upcoming here is LeBurge looking. He's got a man rushing after him, able to turn away from McDonald's pressure, working away to the left, but Romario Reed gets back there and hauls him down. Second sack of the game for Romario Reed, and it's second down for the Raiders.
Yeah, good coverage by McDonald coming off the edge. LeBurge did a good job juking him and getting outside him. But, of course, the continued pressure of the Okanagan center coming down. And it was still good coverage downfield. When a quarterback is scrambling, often you'll see at least one receiver come open, but it's a lot of effort. Those receivers have to work hard to come back to the quarterback to help him out.
Second down as LeBurge will hand the ball off. Henderson right up the middle trying to make his way up there as he will continue to move the pile back to the original line of scrimmage. He certainly is. We haven't seen a whole lot of him in this game. The Raiders' attack has been mostly through the air, but Henderson just barreled his head down, lowered the shoulders, and decided to bring the pile with him. It's third down. I think the offense is going to stay on the field.
Yeah, I think he got it almost another 6-7 yards after contact on that rush.
So it is a third down and about 8 coming up here, and a little bit of a boot coming there from LeBurge as they'll play this all the way down. Wagner back in his own end zone. He muffs it, and this picked up by the Raiders in the end zone. And it is a touchdown for the Raiders.
That's exactly what you want to see when you see a quick kick by the quarterback like that. You either want to see one of the receivers, maybe if they're onside, as deep as the quarterback and get down there and put pressure. But, yeah, there was no need for the Okanagan Sun to rush returning that ball. They have a substantial lead. They could have taken their time. Even if they give up a safety or a big deal on a situation like this, they should have been a little more calm in that scenario.
How does that go down as a touchdown? Would that be as a rushing or receiving touchdown? Would that even be categorized?
Just a fumble recovery, I think. Yeah, it should just be a fumble recovery in the end zone, yeah.
That extra
That's
point
the second
is
extra
blocked,
point like that. Yeah.
so it's a 61-25 game. It will remain. That was a pretty good boot by LeBurge in quick time to get that off.
Well, he had great airtime under it, which allows his receiving core to get downfield. And again, I don't think anybody was onside, and that means they have to be as deep as the kicker, if not deeper, and then you don't have to give 5 yards. If you're the same depth or deeper than the kicker, so I don't think there was a slot back or running back that was in that scenario. But that said, Wagner didn't have to rush that return, and that allowed those receivers coming down in coverage to pounce on that fumble.
So the Raiders do get some points off of that, and they will kick off now from their own 45. We've got 12:30 to play in this fourth quarter, and a 61-25 game here from the Apple Bowl. Trevor Miller alongside Jason Casey here tonight on this Saturday night. Glad to have you here with us from Kelowna.
So, yeah, we'll see what their plan is on this. They've had a couple of kicks that went to the sidelines, and then the Sun just took the ball in the 40. You kick it away from O'Shea. Sibley is an able-bodied returner that can still cross that goal line. You kick it to O'Shea, and we all know what he can do. So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, deciding what side you're going to kick it to. But we'll see if they can't pin him as tight to the sidelines as possible, regardless of what side they're kicking it.
And booting that one away. There is a flag down right off of that kick, as it is Sibley that will gather that, trying to serpentine his way upfield, able to get around a couple of tackles, work wide to the left, making his way up the field. He's got blockers up the field as well, as he'll make his way all the way down the left side to the end zone. Touchdown.
And I'm going to guess where that flag is. I think it's going to be offside on the Raiders. That would be my guess.
Matthew Sibley.
And what a patient return by Sibley. My goodness.
He just waited for everything to form in front of him and made his way down the field. I didn't think he had enough room down the sideline.
I didn't either.
But he was able to cut his way back to the middle of the field and get some open field in front of him. And it's a great blocking effort there by the Sun as well. We'll see what the penalties sort out to be, but it could be another kick return for a touchdown for Matthew Sibley on the punt return.
I think hanging around Malcolm Miller's rubbing off on some of these returners. Once they get to the sideline, they just turn on the afterburners and they're gone.
Yeah, he might be showing them some tips.
Yep.
Long discussion here.
Yeah, I don't know if there are going to be 2 penalties or, I mean, if it's against the Raiders, it's an obvious decline by the Sun, but I don't know if it's a little more complicated than that.
I think that may be why. That's why we're getting the delay here, but the Sun offense is coming on the field, so I think this one's going to come back.
Offside Raiders declined.
So an illegal block against
Block in the
Sun.
back by McDonald. That's unfortunate. I didn't see where that occurred.
Neither did I, and I thought it was just the one flag that was down on the offside originally.
Yeah, that's tough, but kudos to Sibley. That was a good, patient run. To know that's in your back pocket, that kind of thing, when you got O'Shea and Sibley back there, that's a great problem to have.
It's a little frightening for anybody watching game tape,
Absolutely.
isn't it? So ball midfield, and we get our first look at Alex Douglas in this game, who takes over behind center for the Sun here in this fourth quarter. Douglas wanted to hand the ball off, and that will be sacked there as Douglas got his signals crossed with the new running back, Caden Banfield, as he was just kind of waiting there to hand the ball off, and Banfield went to his left instead of his right, and that results in a sack, so it will be second down.
Yeah, and it just shows, you know, when you get your second, third stringers coming in here, they don't get as many reps during the practice week as the number 1 team does. So they're obviously able, you know, more than talented to handle the offensive playbook. They just got to get the rhythm going right now in tonight's game.
I think it'll be too many men on the field against the Sun as Zacala was trying to get his way to the out-of-bounds marker. I think that's what the call is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be against the Sun, so too many men on the field, and they will push this back even further. So it will be a second down and very long coming up here for the Sun. Douglas had a good week last week. He was 6 for 80, threw a touchdown pass in that 87-0 victory over Kamloops. So good to see him get some offensive success. We've seen him so far this year in some mop-up duty in the third and fourth quarter. Things hadn't really been going for the Sun offensively since they'd already put up big totals. So Douglas's numbers aren't as good as maybe they possibly could be, but he was good last week.
Yeah, he's a very capable backup quarterback, and that's what any team would love to have. You know, you never know in a situation where you have to go to them for the remainder of a game because of an injury or, you know, a different situation. So it's great that he's getting an opportunity in the past 3 weeks to get good reps in a game situation.
First down up, or second down upcoming, and Douglas slings it to the right side of the field. Caught by Zacala, who's going to make his way down the sideline. He's going to push the first down markers. And on a 2nd and 27, the Sun will gain 29.
And what a great smart play. Again, Zacala, a big man wide open. I don't understand how that's happening. But then he was on first contact downfield. He was going to be about 2 yards short if he got into the defender and tried to break the tackle. He put on the brakes, let that defender cross his face, and then continued running and turned a huge 2nd and long into a first down. Very, very smart running by Zacala.
First down and 10 upcoming here from the 41, as that ball will be handed off to the running back in Banfield, who did not get very far, and it will be second down upcoming.
Yeah, good tackle by, I think that's Dylan Taylor back there. Good open field tackle against Banfield. But yeah, the front four for the Raiders, they know the run's coming regardless if it's Miller or not, and you've got to take your opportunities, any opportunity you can to make the Okanagan be 2nd and long. That said, then now you have to stop the pass, and they haven't been able to do both at the same time.
Second down upcoming here for Douglas. 2nd and about 12 He's back for it there, almost tripped over Banfield there, and the two get crossed up once again, and the tackle made in the backfield as it is Taylor once more who gets back there to make that tackle, and quickly third down.
Yeah, the gelling between the quarterback and running back just isn't there right now, so we'll see as this quarter progresses if they can get that ironed out. I don't know if one of them are just getting a little too excited to either take the ball or either fake the ball, but they've got to get that figured out so they can get some consistency. Now that the backup quarterback and running backs are getting some time in a game situation, you've got to maximize that time because often you're not going to get further opportunities. You want to maximize the time on the field and really gel on that mesh point between the quarterback and running back.
It's once again Downing who is back to kick. This about at his own 50 as he boots this ball away to the wide side of the field, and that will be down just before the 20-yard line. So a boot there by Downing, and both teams will exchange offense and defense, and the Raiders offense coming back out on the field.
Yeah, again, we'll see if they don't try and do both aspects. Obviously, they're running out of clock time, but the Raiders are now likely going to think past tonight. The odds of them pulling a win tonight are slim to none. So they're going to think, okay, well, what do we want to build on in our rush and pass game for next weekend and moving forward? They want to continue with their game plan, get their starting offense still executing specific aspects of their game plan with some consistency.
And again, a big weekend next weekend for this team going to Victoria to play the West Shore Rebels, a team they've already beaten. LeBurge going downfield, open down the side on the right side there, and making that catch is Alexander Bonaplum, who was able to find that, and he's down past the midfield strike. That again, that quick offense that we've seen from LeBurge, and he's able to make that good play to the right side of the field for Bonaplum.
Yeah, good read, good pass route by the Raiders offense. And it's against now, you got some second string defenders in there. But that said, that's a terrific read and a terrific delivery.
So LeBurge back to pass again, going deep downfield and almost intercepted on the left side. Getting a piece of that for the Sun, I believe, was Tyler Harasmiuk.
And Romanoff was running that deep corner route. A little too much air by LeBurge. I think if he took a little bit off that, if he dropped that arc of the ball a little bit, Romanoff might have been able to secure that ball, and that would have been another big, 25, 30-yard catch and run.
Second down upcoming here. Ball at the 54-yard line. As LeBurge in the offense, looking to try and push up field once again. Second down, some pressure coming. LeBurge swarmed to his left, just has to heave this ball upfield and through the arms, through the outstretched hands of a receiver downfield in Bradbrook, and that will be third down.
Yeah, I don't think he would have had a chance to come down inbounds with that ball, but it just hangs up in the air so much, and it's tough. When it's hanging in the air that long, it can be deceiving with the darkness of the sky behind it. So yeah, he tried to jump, tried to make a play. I think he wouldn't have come inbounds even if he had secured the catch.
So third down upcoming here, and the punt team comes on the field. Miranda who boot this one away. The Sun ahead by a score of 61-25. A couple of mixed extra points for the Raiders in this game. Reason why they're at 25 points as Moran will take this at his own 45. Boots this down the field. O'Shea is there to collect. Starting up the right side, making his way up the field, down the sideline. It's around a tackle. Tried to leapfrog his way over a would-be tackler, and O'Shea pushed out of bounds, and that will push the ball toward the midfield markers.
And again, one player away from turning that into another touchdown. So good.
It just seems like there's so many of those plays for this team where they're able to get wide. Then, a lot of it's on the elusiveness of course, O'Shea. We've talked about him. Talked about Sakala. Talked about Miller. But the blockers in front of them have to get a lot of the credit. They are providing those lanes and opportunities for guys to get upfield.
Absolutely. They're so well coached on special teams, which often a lot of teams don't allow themselves to have that much time to get ready for that. They've got the talent and they've got the coaching to be dominating.
Douglas back out there now as we'll hand off to Banfield right up the gut and will find his way just short of the first down marker. It will be second down. And I think it shows how much this team practices special teams because it just goes to show with the success that they've had and the players that they have on that front. There's not many parts of the Sun game that are overlooked during a week of practice, and special teams is definitely one of those things that gets its fair share of reps.
Absolutely. The talent will only take you so far. O'Shea's only so good at returning that ball if his 11 teammates in front aren't doing their job.
Second down and short. And once again, it's Banfield. Once again, it's another first down. And the Sun, who had 10 of them in the first half, will find their way to plow through once again, and a late flag coming out from the pile. That emerged there. Both teams had 10 first downs. You know, when you look at the offensive numbers, obviously the rush yards are entirely different, 188 to 12 in the first half. Outside of that big number, the numbers are pretty well similar for both teams. They each had 10 first downs. The passing yards were similar in the first quarter. I think it was just one of those things where those rush yards really beat the Raiders, and they're going to push the Sun back here. I think this may be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, and it was also the field position as well, right? Like that first half, the Okanagan Sun had a lot of short fields to work with. So, yeah, they had more drives and they put up more points, but it's because they have the shorter field position, they have a lot of yards because of the multiple drives. If they were starting at their own 20 and they had the same amount of, first downs and completions and whatnot, it probably would have been a little more balanced on the scoreboard.
So a first down upcoming here from the 52 for the Sun. Douglas with a play action fake, tried to pass to the left side that that just got through his hands.
I thought they were going to call that just an incomplete pass, but no, they're saying it was a fumble even before his hand was coming forward because none of the refs were going for the whistle. So
Douglas lost the handle on that, and he had to try and pounce back onto it.
Yeah.
And I think he may have known that. Are they going to call it an incomplete pass now?
That's too bad because if they were...
So they're going to call it.
Well, you don't want to risk your quarterback trying to dive for a loose ball and against a defender because that's how you pop a shoulder out or something like that, or you bust a hand.
Or even worse, the head comes into play.
Absolutely, yeah. No, the refs, if they thought there was any chance of that being a forward pass, they should have called that whistle a lot sooner.
Second down and 10 for Douglas in the Sun offense as he ranges back, looking to the right. Trying to find his man Banfield out of the backfield, and he makes his way to the first down yardage, makes the man miss, cuts down the right side, makes a move to the middle, gets around another tackler into the end zone, touchdown. Caden Banfield.
So impressive. Douglas stayed in the pocket, took a hit, delivered the pass. It was a little short and a little low. Banfield, great hands by a running back coming out of the backfield to secure that pass. Turned upfield, made one man bounce off him. A couple other guys miss, and then just turned on the Jets as well. And again, he's like a Zakala as well. He's a big man, but deceivingly fast because his stride is so smooth. He reads the field well. Made a guy miss, at about the 15-yard line, and then just continued on in the end zone. Very impressive.
Impressive job by Banfield, and it is now with Atwood putting that up and through. It is now a 68-25 Okanagan Sun lead. We've talked about the offensive threats before. It's saying something when your second-string guys and your guys to come in through the third and fourth quarters, guys like Douglas and Banfield, making plays like that.
Absolutely. It's great to see. And as I mentioned earlier as well, because you don't know if you're going to need to go to your bench in a tighter game, injuries or whatever, something's not clicking. You go knowing that you've got running backs that could step up and fill the void if Miller can't perform, knowing that you got Douglas another as a backup quarterback, same thing, knowing you got receivers that can do the same thing. It's not just a Zakala or an O'Shea. You've got Sibley, you've got Banfield on the backfield. You've got so many threats on across the board on the roster, but their offense is very stacked, and they're all dominating on their respective opportunities when they get them. No one is missing out on their opportunities, which is a great problem for the coaching staff of the Sun to have.
4:50 to go in this fourth quarter as the Sun looking to try and just seal this one away here. Donovan Downing to boot it away from his own 45 as he'll send this one downfield. Gathered up by Bradbrook, who's had a big day returning the ball and trying to make his way upfield, but swarmed once again as the Sun special teams get onto him. He's had a lot of takedowns so far today with how much he has had to receive the ball. That's just beyond the 20-yard marker, and it will be the Raider offense that will come back out on the field.
Yeah, nice, good high kick. It wasn't overly deep by the Sun, but good coverage based on the height of that kick. It allowed their coverage to get downfield and didn't give Broadbrook much time to try and develop any kind of return. Took everything he could, still couldn't get hit the 25-yard line. So we'll see what their offense does on this. Probably likely going to be their last drive of the game.
We don't have many games going at night in the BCFC. Not many games played under lights. Does that make a big difference playing at night compared to during the day?
Sure. If you're not used to it, absolutely. I know the Okanagan Sun have been doing it for years. They thrive on it. But, yeah, if you're a team that isn't used to it, absolutely it can affect you.
A little bit different trying to deal with the lights and the black, dark background of trying to see the football than what you're used to of the daylight and being able to see everything as clear as possible as hauling it down on the right side of the field there. I believe it was Broadbrook that got taken down. Or, sorry, that was the play of Kobe Lachuk-May, who was hauled down on the right side. It will be second down upcoming here.
Yeah, and good swarming job by the second the second strings of the defense that we see for the Okanagan Sun. Good job in recognizing where the play was developing, swarming. First guy there, securing that tackle. Everybody else come in and make sure that there's no yard after contact.
Second down upcoming here as it's LaBerge back, looking to run up the middle. He's hauled down, and that is going to be a good play defensively there for the Sun, getting into the backfield, making that play. J.J. Heaton, who came across and able to knock his man down. Third down for the Raiders.
Yeah, good discipline by J.J. Heaton. He wasn't getting past his check. He was his pass rush wasn't there, as in getting depth to where LaBerge is, but he stayed and patient, had both gaps taken care of on either side of the offensive guard that he was up against. And once LaBerge made a decision of where he was going to scramble, he got off that block and just secured the tackle for a loss.
So the Raiders to boot the ball away. And just tucking his way back into the end zone and taking a knee there will be the Raider punter. And that will see the Sun back out on the field as Ethan Morin just drops down to a knee. And that pushes the Sun to a 70-25 lead here.
Yeah, and the Raiders are just trying to get some kind of semblance of returning the field position to be slightly balanced, if at all, if they could do that towards the end of this game. That's obviously scoreboard is well in favor of the Okanagan Sun, as well as the performance on all aspects of the game have been the Okanagan Sun. So, it was a no-brainer really for the Raiders to take that knee and try and kick the Sun deep. But as we said before, who do you kick to? And last time they didn't kick to O'Shea. Sibley scored a touchdown that got pulled back on a penalty. So we'll see if they just do a pooch. Maybe they just do a pooch that's maybe 20, 30 yards downfield. Try and get the up backs and the wedge protectors to have to field the ball. Or a squib, which doesn't allow them to set up their blocks as well. So we'll see what the Raiders do on this kick.
We shall see. With 2:47 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Ball at the 35.
3-minute warning.
That's where we're at. The 3-minute warning now in this one. And the Sun with a commanding lead here. Looking like they will pick up their fourth victory in a row. The only blemish that lost to Langley a 7-0 game. We didn't have lights that night. We didn't have the luxury of power. So that was a lot of fun to deal with. As booting that one away for the Raiders is Aloysius Kunn. And back inside of his own zone there, Sibley makes his way upfield and charts his way to midfield. Knocked down near the center strike, and that will bring the offense back on the field for the Sun for one last foyer into the towards the end of the game. And Alex Douglas coming out with 2:40 to play.
Yeah, we'll see Douglas, and I didn't see if it's Peddle or Banfield or whatnot that's in there, so we'll just see them continue to run, set up the run game. I think it's Kwong in there.
Yeah, Aiden Kwong is going to get some time here. As we have seen over the course of the last few weeks, Banfield gets a few snaps. Kwong will come in to clean things up here. First down, and Douglas back. He will hand off to Kwong. Makes his way right up the middle, and he gets his way for about a 13-yard game. Aiden Kwong, first down.
And initially, I thought it was going to be maybe a tackle for only a 2 or 3 yard gain. But again, he keeps his center of gravity key. He keeps his feet moving. He keeps his balance powerful, and was able to churn out a big return. Big run.
That's another thing about all these backs, whether it's Miller, Banfield, or Kwong. They keep the feet moving all the time, and that's the same thing about the receivers too. They do not like to go down easy. First down, Kwong in the backfield once more. Got bounced off of a tackle and now taken out to the left side and is hauled down. And that will be a loss and a second down upcoming with the clock winding down.
Yeah, Kwong was behind the 8 ball right from the get-go there. It was a little bit mismanaged on the mesh point between him and Douglas, and allowed the defensive front to get past some of their blocks. So he had white jerseys in his face right away. Tried to make something out of nothing, kept going until that whistle was gone, but unfortunately he wasn't going to get anything out of that.
So a second down upcoming now. Douglas back at the 50. We'll hand off there to Kwong, and again, not much doing as swarming his way into the backfield is Dalen Taylor, who's had a busy second half so far on the front lines for the Raiders, as Taylor able to get right back into the backfield, and it will be a third down upcoming here for the Sun.
Yeah, way to snuff out that run. I mean, it's quite obvious what the Sun were going to do, really, when you look at how they're setting up their offensive scheme right there with Douglas and Kwong. That said, you still got to make those tackles, and that's exactly what Taylor and company have done on those back-to-back plays.
So Downing once more to come out and boot it away. About at his own 45. We'll let this fly at just about the 49 as he sends this one off, bounding its way down to Adams, who will step out of bounds, and we'll take that inside the 20. So 1:28 to go to finish this one off with the Sun ahead 70-25. Thank you for spending your Saturday night with us. Trevor Miller, Jason Casey here at the Apple Bowl in Kelowna. Boy, it's nice to be back home, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
A few weeks on the road to begin the season, and the Sun finishing out. This is the second of a 3-game homestand to end the year. The big game coming up October 30th, Jason, is the Okanagan Sun and the Langley Rams to finish off the year. I don't think the BCFC could have planned that any better, to have those two teams battling for the top spot in the league.
Exactly. We'll see what happens, obviously, tomorrow and next week with the Langley Rams. But, yeah, it's proving to be a likely tilt for first place between the Rams and the Sun.
Kamloops hasn't wanted to do the Okanagan Sun any favors, but maybe they could next week.
That would be, it would be amazing. That would be probably the upset of the year in amateur sports in BC. But yeah, we'll see how the next 2 weeks play out.
Should be interesting as the schedule winding down. Playoff season almost upon us here in the BCFC. Again, later than usual, obviously with the later start to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. But you know what? It just feels like football weather right now in October. Your nose is a little cold. Things are a little chilly outside.
A little cool and damp in the air, but yeah.
That screams football.
Absolutely.
Not when it's 35 degrees. Nobody wants to sit out then. So it'll be second down and 10 here with 55 seconds to go. And in the backfield there is the quarterback, Ben Chamolik, who will hand that one off. And it's Kuhn on the right side that will make his way to the out-of-bounds markers on the right. And I don't know if he had enough to get a first down. I think he may have, depending on where they put the spot. 44 seconds to go in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, good off-tackle run by the VI Raiders. Good blocking. Again, it's late in the game. The defense is getting, they just want to get this game over. They've come up with a big, substantial win. It's good to see the Raiders' O-line that are still blocking. And as I mentioned earlier, when a game's out of hand like this, you still want your offense to be as effective as they can and play to the final whistle, because it's going to continue into next week and the final weekend of the season, and going into the playoffs. The Raiders want to keep building on their talent and how they execute their game plan, and no longer worry about what's going on in this game and with the Okanagan Sun.
Yeah, you almost got to look forward, as you mentioned. You can't really worry about this one. This one's well in the books right now. So it will be the quarterback, Chamolik, to heave the ball down the side of the field on the left side. That is hauled in and caught. Getting that catch on the left side, I believe, was Romanoff that came up with it. And Chamolik with a good catch, or a good pass on the left side, as Romanoff hauls it in 37 seconds and counting to go in this one.
Yeah, and if that ball had maybe 7 or 10 yards of distance on it, Romanoff would have been all the way to the end zone, I think. He would have been able to just throw him wide open. He was wide open for the majority of that pass. It was just slightly underthrown, but great adjustment by Romanoff to slow down and come back and catch that pass.
First down upcoming here at the 40. Chamolik back to pass. Heaves that up and out of the reach of Marcel Grant and incomplete. So second down upcoming here for the Raiders, and turning down on what should be the final 2 plays of the game.
Yeah, and it's good to see Chamolik as we talk about the Okanagan Sun with their backups and whatnot coming in and being effective. Chamolik makes good reads, and he has a nice delivery on the ball. Little overthrown on that pass to Grant. But that said, he's making his reads, he's sitting back in the pocket, and he's delivering that ball with confidence.
Second down upcoming here for the Raiders at the 40. Second and 10 with Chamolik back to heave this one up. Goes back to the backfield, will try to make his way out to the left, and he is hauled down and will be taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think he knew when he didn't have his reads downfield that he was trying to make something happen, and he was just trying to make sure he secured that ball as he took a hit from the converging defense.
So it will be a third down upcoming here with 8 seconds to go.
There was a flag.
Why not?
Why not? No flag. Picking
Hey, there we go. That's what we like to see. Time winding down. It's the Sun again, the week off next week. A good week for this team to have off. They'll lay low before. That's actually almost a godsend to have that bye week to be before the second week out before playoffs. The Valley Huskers also have the week off next week as well. So a big week for them to try and recharge the batteries a little bit. Third down upcoming here, and a handoff to Kuhn, finding his way down the left side, making his way to the first down marker, and he will as the clock winds down, and this one comes to an end. The Okanagan Sun pick up their 4th straight win and a 70-25 victory over the Vancouver Island Raiders here tonight at the Apple Bowl. Another successful night for the Sun here on this Saturday to find the win column once more and improve their record on the season so far to 6-1.
Yeah, good job by the Okanagan Sun. Dominating performance from start to finish. Their defense, offense, special teams, I've said this so many times this evening and throughout the season, they just look so well oiled, so well coached, so well, put together as a collective group. The 12 players that are on any side of the ball are gelling so well together. They understand the playbook. They understand each of their roles to be effective in the execution of that game plan, and they're dominating their opponents right now.
They certainly are, and it's been an impressive few weeks for the Sun. They put up 50 points in Kamloops 2 weeks ago. Last week they put up 87, and this week they put up a total of 70. A 70-25 win for the Sun over the Vancouver Island Raiders. Raiders back in action next weekend. They will take on the West Shore Wolves. The Sun with the weekend off, and a big matchup coming up for the Sun on Saturday, October 30th. That's a 4 o'clock start. The Sun will take on the Langley Rams, a likely battle for first place in the BCFC. Make sure you join us here at the Apple Bowl for that one. But for tonight, my name is Trevor Miller. Thanks as always to Jason Casey for riding shotgun here tonight. This has been Okanagan Sun Football right here on BCFC.TV.ca. Final score, it's the Sun 70 and the Raiders 25. We hope you have a good night, and we'll talk to you on the 30th of October when the Sun take on the Langley Rams.